last time we played, um, a couple of events of interest were, let's see, there was, um, I mean, the only two I really remember off the top of my head were, well, three. So I mean, I know Albert is planning to have a little bit of a meeting with the radio host of Terra Nova News today, which is going to happen this session. He also, if memory serves, this was the session where he got his little um, the dossier that one of his subordinates put together, which had some very interesting information on it regarding the two candidates, like political candidates. Um, Arturo, one of said candidates, he met his opposition for the first time and figured out the guy was a fucking loser.
He was real impressive.
Yeah, which is also why you scheduled a like you made a deal with the bartender who very reluctantly, after throwing whiskey out the night before, he allowed to let him back in so he could humiliate himself on stage. Um, and um, and then as for um, Simone and Conrad, the two of you were look that you were doing some more digging into the whole engineering department uh, corruption, and you not only met and made contact with one of the workers there, Danny Muniz. But you also met Royce Havelock for the first time, or as Simone labeled him, tall, dark, and creepy.
All
Exactly.
right, serial killer guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so where we pick up is the basically the like more or less the evening shift is like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So what I think is a good time is while everybody is scattered doing their own things, this is where our newest player comes in, which I'll bring us over to the colony overview. So you were so Richard, you were making your way to the
Admin.
security team HQ because you were going
Yeah.
to enlist. And I will drag your token onto the map because the administration district over here has the HQ, and then as you are going there, um, you you see that you're not the only one going into the building. There's this guy here, um, who he sees you walking in, in civilian clothes, and he says is like, oh hey are you going to sign up too?
Yeah. It was part of me getting to this colony. I had to either go into some sort of admin or security. Well, seems like admin's already taken care of, so it looks like security's for me.
He says, so well, I mean, I was, I'm from the 8th. I don't know if you got here on the 9th, but um, after the recent attacks, I figured I should try to do my part. Good to see somebody
Well,
else is taking that same initiative.
I just got here, so it seems relevant
So
because it seems like the forces are lacking.
and he says, yeah, so I've heard, and he introduces himself as Jared Lang, and he
hmm
asks you for your name, and he offers
Uh,
you a handshake.
I shake his hand and I say, uh, I'm called Elliot, but everyone calls me Richard as that's my middle name. Sparrow.
All right, cool. He says, so well, here's hoping we both make the cut and work together on the force. So after that, he starts making his way in, and you follow him in and then the, I mean, as I said before, the security team aren't technically like actual like law enforcement, but they're basically like the corporate equivalent of.
hmm
But it is structured very similar to like a police station. You've got like a reception area, um, with one of the officers manning it. She looks up and says, "Hello, do you have what brings you here?" And I guess
I,
she just kind of looks at Richard first.
I don't think we have an appointment, but we're here to apply for the security force.
And she says, "Oh, splendid. Well, just have a seat over there, and I'll page the sheriff." And so, basically, like a few minutes passes, um, and one of the cops comes out, namely, hold on, where's this fucking token? This guy. um,
Hmm.
who, unbeknownst to you, is a little more significant in the police force. But he looks to you guys, like he sort of eyes both of you, and he looks to Richard, says, "You follow me. I'll take you to the civil marshal."
Okay. Well,
So
good luck. I
so
turn
yeah,
to the other guys as good luck, and I just follow.
yeah, he gives you a thumbs up, and then he just pulls up, like, picks up a magazine and starts reading it. So this guy, I'll just move him off the side. So this guy basically, he gives you a little bit of a like idle chatter of what's going on, the usual, like, good to see people are signing up kind of thing. So
Hmm.
he leads you to like the specially marked office of the civil marshal, and you see the actual marshal there sitting at his desk, and he looks up and he says, "So you're one of the new recruits?" And then Dustin kind of answers that for you. He says, "Yes, sir," and takes his leave. And then the sheriff says, "Well, I'm Sheriff Wolf Jones. Please have a seat, son."
Take a seat, and I look at him and says, "Well, I just arrived here on the 9th, so it looked like most of the admin positions were already filled, and part of the whole purpose of me coming here was either an admin or security, so it looks like I get signed to security."
Dude, you do. So he pulls up a clipboard, and says, like, "Well, before I admit you to the team, I have a few questions for you. Um, so the if you're ready, we can begin."
"Oh, of course."
So he says, um, you know, did you have a current occupation here prior to coming to Terra Nova, or rather, if you were at Terra Nova in the ninth, did you originally have an assigned career?
Designation.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
what were you doing before you came here?
I was assigned as admin or transportation, uh, driving the ICPs, doing basically driving jobs, taking care of heavy equipment, moving it,
Okay.
taking it where it needed to go.
So he kind of nods along and he writes that down. He says, "Okay. In the past, have you ever served in a career where you were expected to put your life on the line?"
Yes, I was originally trained with some military forces that specialized in non-lethal capture techniques and uh, basically live capture individuals for interrogation or other purposes. So I was trained as a part of a group of that, and then once I was released, uh, I proceeded to find my way around. And that's what wound me up here.
And he sort of, gives you a little bit of a nod and says, "That's quite a useful skill to have, and it's definitely good to know that if you were doing that you've got the nerve to do this. It's a very good skill to have." So his next question, from your previous line of work, if your employers were to describe you in one of two words, what would that be?
Pull up our chat real quick because I sent it, so I had it. It says dedicated, focused.
Okay. Um, so those are good traits to have. Um, Aside from the non-lethal takedown capabilities, what sort of relevant skills and experience do you have that you could offer to the security team?
Well, I'm trained in driving all your heavy equipment, ICPs, infantry transport
ICP, you
equipments.
mean APCs?
Yeah, APCs. Whatever's the uh, heavy equipment or any vehicle of that stature.
Okay. And my last question is, well, second to last question is, do you have a criminal record?
No.
Okay, good. And then the last question, is there anything else that I didn't ask about that, well, either that you would want me to know, or if there are any questions you have for me?
No, I have no questions. It's just, when do I start work?
Um, he says, based on the application, these are some good answers, and I mean, I will be doing a bit of a background check, but if you've got nothing to hide, then you should be getting a call tomorrow to start tomorrow.
Wonderful. I'll get
So
settled in, and then I'll report here first thing in the morning.
perfect. Good to hear it. He says. He also says that if you want, you can get associated with the rest of the staff. We do have a new. I mean, I'm not sure if it was mentioned to you, but I'm going to be retiring very soon, within the
Oh,
next few days. So I'm going to be forwarding this information to my successor.
well, interesting. I was not informed because of the transit and slow communication times.
So says, well, I mean, there's definitely a lot going on here in Terra Nova lately between the election, the marauders, and everything else. Um, so
Well, at
I
least
mean,
I'll
I can
do
understand.
my part.
Good. He says, it's like, well, if you don't have any other questions for me or anything else you want to bring up to me, then you are free to go.
I stand up, I give him a salute, and
Okay.
walk out.
He nods to you, and then he gets back to whatever he was working on, and so the door shuts on your way out. Is there anything else you want to do while you are at the station, or
No, I'm going to wherever I'm assigned as residence and
okay, you're
get
going back
myself
home?
settled in. Yeah.
Okay. Um, with that address, so we will cut over to um, I will say um, so evening shift because it was arranged for Albert. So you make your way to you were assigned your meeting with MK Curran at the DJ station, which I would say would probably be in the residential district.
Yeah, can you give me a few more minutes before we do that? I didn't prepare my answers ahead of time, so I'm working
Oh,
on them
okay.
right
Well,
now.
we can cut over to another player, I guess. Um,
Yeah, thank you.
so sure. So I guess I'll just ask, does anybody in particular want to do anything? Because I know Arturo's ambition to have Lord Farquaad humiliate himself in front of the entire colony was due to happen tomorrow. But I don't know if there's anything
Hmm.
that Simone and or Conrad would like to be doing during this time.
If that's going to be tomorrow, then. Well, Conrad was thinking of maybe if there's enough time left in the day to uh, head over to the prospecting area and get a little chit chatting with the workers there to see what are their opinions on their boss. He would kind of suggest that to Simone if she was heading
I mean,
over
she is one of
there.
the prospectors. You already know her take.
Well, yes, but she's she's new here. uh, he wants to Conrad kind of wants to see what the other more longer lasting people there kind of have been thinking up until now.
Okay. Um,
If she's okay with it, he would just
Yeah,
kind of
I'll
suggest
go with
like
you. Sure.
splendid.
all right. So you make your way over to the prospecting division. I can't remember. I think that was in administration, but wherever it is, I guess doesn't really matter that much. But you
I
guys seem.
think it's in engineering.
Oh, was it? Let me just double
Maybe,
check.
maybe.
Well, it doesn't really matter too much, but you guys can go there together. Courtesy of Simone, you have the clearance to bring in a non-prospector, and if you're established with the division and he's with you, then nobody really questions it, especially if he's in like his usual suit and you know potentially
Yeah.
looks like he's taking a survey, so nobody really pays you any mind.
Yep. At
So
least that didn't
Simone,
look
my
bad.
question for you, because it was definitely quite a while, not quite a while in terms of sessions, but in terms of real time. Did you? I can't remember. Did you specify if you were like getting to know your teammates?
Yeah, I would have been getting to know them.
Okay, so
I think I forgot to specify either, but I definitely would have been doing that in the background in
all right,
between, like
so
talking
you would
with.
know their names, so you can and because again, I didn't have special sort of stats and like a character sheet and art and stuff for them, but I do have names for certain characters. So one of the guys that you Like you single out, I would say probably the most sociable of the wildcatters. Not necessarily, um, you know, like an outgoing, cheerful, friendly person to the same degree as like Danny, but there's a guy named Jacob Quinn who is
Okay.
in the prospecting department, and he's sort of more of like an older, like not necessarily old, but he's definitely kind of graying a bit, um, hair wise. You know, he's definitely the kind of guy that he's been around, been in the prospecting division for quite a while, and it's very apparent in not only his experience and like the way he kind of carries himself, but also just in his general aesthetic. Um, his knowledge, like the kind of things he's told you when you're hanging around. But he sees you approaching him, and it's like, oh well, welcome back, Simone. Who's your friend here?
Oh, hello there. I'm Conrad Bass. I am from the commercial district there. I'm with the company as a representative, doing managerial jobs here and there, making sure everything is all right. But if you wouldn't mind, can I do a quick a survey here just to make it's a kind of reporting thing that we have to do from time to time, and this the district has come up, so it wouldn't take long. I hope you can spare a few minutes for just an anonymous
And he
survey.
says, of course. I mean, we've got plenty of time to kill. He says, just kind of like using we in reference to the entire team rather than just himself. So,
Hmm.
and he kind
Oh
of gives
yes,
he kind of gives Simone
noticed.
a little bit of a look, like you know what I'm talking about. So,
Yep. I'll just. Yep. I just nod along. Yeah.
so he says, all
Definitely.
right, well, ask away.
Well, maybe for starters, can, can you tell me when have you been here from the very beginning of
Um,
the establishment of the prospecting uh, area?
he says, actually, yes. He says I was one of the original member, like one of the first Wildcatters here in Terra Nova.
Oh, fantastic! Then you're just the right man for which we need to then talk to. How did it all start up? What were the uh, initial kind of um, what were the initial hopes and um, estimations of what the prospecting potential would be for your designated territories?
So are you basically asking him like what he was looking to find or something? I don't understand the question.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, what were they told at the very start? Like, what to expect? Did they have any pre-knowledge of what any survey, satellite data, anything, or were they going in completely blind? Did they have any
Um,
pre-knowledge or?
so he explains that obviously before us um there was an SCV team that did like a basic survey of the planet to see if it was suitable for colonization. Um, and it was. And I don't know how much you know about your history, but the this planet's two moons, Socorro and Lombardi, were actually named after the main two pioneers who surveyed this place. And
Oh,
they
okay.
so their team originally surveyed this planet, and they assessed that okay, it's got breathable air, it's got water, um, it has natural resource like things like trees and fruit and soil that's good for growing crops and all this other stuff that makes it very suitable for human life. Um, but as for the wildcatters, once the colony was actually established, it was our job to try to make find the most potential of of this place, whether it was finding better places to set up future colonies or um, finding natural resources for like for basically either for the betterment of the colony itself or for like basically to get us a little extra income, like looking for like oil or gold or something like that. Um, and then also, I mean, it was granted it was more of um, a working in tandem with the science department, but also for trying to find new areas of interest for research outposts to be established for studying. I mean, there's not really much of an ecosystem here, but studying the local flora and doing atmospheric readings and all that other scientific stuff. It was the Wildcatters' job to do those initial surveys, so that way the scientists could actually do their jobs.
Mm, quite the varied amount of tasks you've had at hand, and well, obviously, since the colony is established as well as it is, they have been successful at least to the bare minimum degree there. So that's that's nice to see. But could you give me more information, please, about these over the years, the prospecting outlook, whenever you've went on the prospecting surveys, overall, how fruitful have they been, how productive, and if you can give me some more information about the mining operations that are on this planet, if you have any information there to divulge.
So he said that in terms of well, as for the second question, I'll have to reiterate, like double check the first one because I kind of forgot. So for the second question, in terms of the mining operations, he says that the prospecting department, kind of like with the science, like the whole thing with the prospecting department is to find the resource nodes, and then engineering handles actually mining them.
Mhm.
And then
Okay.
what was your first question?
My first question was about the prospecting surveys that the journeys that you have probably been sending out your wildcatters over the years. Uh, have they been finding anything of use? How frequent were
Okay,
those
I understand the
surveys?
question. So, so basically, he says that so initially it kind of obviously there was a it sort of goes up and down. Like there might be areas that like a long stretch where it's like nothing really interesting was found, and then all of a sudden we find like a giant vein of some sort of resource, or we find oil somewhere, or we discover new islands out in the ocean to chart, see what they have, that sort of thing. So there it comes and goes. Though he says that lately, in terms of discoveries, we've hit kind of a rough patch in terms of not really finding anything over a somewhat prolonged period of time.
Has this been the longest period that you haven't found anything of note, or just one of the longer ones?
Uh, if I mean, this would definitely be the second longest, at least, if not possibly the longest, in which nothing interesting has been found.
Understood. And why do you believe that is the case? Do you think that is just the normal part of uh, the risks of being a prospector, not going out into the unknown, trying to find something where you're not sure where it is, or are there any other reasons? Equipment, personnel, resources, something specific that you find lacking or faulty?
Um, he says that I mean, it's honestly very hard to really pinpoint. I mean, as a veteran prospector, my belief is that it is um it's just bad luck more than anything else, though I feel like there hasn't been any kind of creative reevaluation in the higher ups. there hasn't been any kind of proposition of the whole thing of if at first you don't succeed, find out why. There hasn't been really any kind of thought of like, okay, what new ideas and approaches and reevaluations can we make to our department to try um, to get results. There hasn't been any of that in the current administration.
Oh, so there hasn't been a push for more creative solutions,
No.
unique and different approaches to. That's a shame. At Wayland Industries, the creative and unique approach every time that's what pushes us forward. That is always needed, and I would imagine, especially so for prospecting, kind of career there. But too bad. Uh, would you say that that is the uh, connected to the administration, how they are driving your uh, area of work?
Um,
He's basically going a roundabout way of asking, what does he think about his boss?
oh,
Getting
yeah,
there
oh,
slowly.
okay. So he
He
well
reminds him
he's
that this
yeah,
is an anonymous survey, and
okay.
everything is
He
completely confidential.
yeah, he definitely in this case I would say give me a manipulation roll
Oh,
because
I'd love to.
because the thing is that you
Definitely
remember he is
sounds
a
fun.
veteran prospector, so I mean even though it isn't
Exactly.
really getting any, I'm just letting you know his sort of his mindset is like he just doesn't want to risk his job after he's been in the team so long.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you do convince him. Um, so he and then actually, well, I'll say this because you got that extra success. Do you want to get an extra piece of information out of him?
Yes, I think that'd be the
Okay.
best.
Um, so he says, in terms of what do I think of him? He says that, it's been in my opinion that compared to previous, um, heads of the like previous prospector generals, that Mr. Winslow kind of lacks vision and ambition. Um,
Hmm.
he says he seems kind of apathetic to this compared to previous prospector generals.
Interesting. Then, hmm, I'm I'm a bit confused. How did he then get to this position? Is that something that was there from the start with this prospector general, or did they just evolve over time?
Um, well, here's what I'll say is for the extra information, what he gives you is kind of like a bonus is like a sort of narrative changing bonus is that he basically like he all but states that the like uh Winslow's like him getting the job is around the time that things started to kind of taper off. Like uh Jacob, like he's not really making the connection, ironically enough, but I mean I'm just pointing it out in character that you probably can, that like, you know,
Hmm.
he whether he realizes it or not, the sort of string of misfortune of the prospecting department overlaps with the time that Winslow has been in this position.
Okay, okay, that's good to know. That'll be plenty of good justification for
Like
what
as
comes after.
granted, it's not exactly a case of like the very second he got the job is when things started to go to pot, but it is definitely a case of like whoever was the previous prospector general did not have this kind of misfortune. Like there were actually discoveries being made. Winslow's appointment is kind of somewhat of a recent development, but the prospecting division has sort of implicitly suffered because of it.
Okay, okay,
Like he
understood.
isn't outright saying that, but that is inferred from what he's telling you.
Hmm. Um, Conrad is thinking how to delicately approach this next subject. Conrad basically wants to know what does this guy think that generally the whole of the prospecting district, how would they feel if in a very very theoretical, just a mind scenario, if in future situations the current head of the department is replaced?
Um, Based on what you were saying at the start of that question, are you just asking this guy still, or are you going to be asking multiple
Yeah, yeah,
people?
yeah. Just asking him, but because he's been there the longest, he kind of believes that he would know the atmosphere of
Yeah, I mean,
the
he's,
working place.
he's sort of, I mean, yeah, that's a good observation that he has, you know, gotten to know other prospecting teams. Obviously, he's obviously, I would say this is a little bit of a thing that Simone, you would have picked up from getting to know this guy, is that he's obviously very, very well respected and admired among like this particular team, and even other prospecting teams seem to, you know, view him highly.
Okay.
Just like, I mean, he's a pretty nice guy, but also the fact that he's been one of like the OG prospectors, so
Yeah, he
he
has that seniority that people
yeah, that
listen to
seniority,
him
that
and trust him.
yeah, and I mean he's a respectful person, so that there's no
Yeah.
real envy of him. So um so yeah, that is a good observation that he would serve as a good sort of representative of the rest of the prospectors. Um, but he says in terms of the question of like if there was a replacement, he says that um like, I mean, I'm not sure who it would be, um, but theoretically, I mean, it definitely it wouldn't make the situation worse. I don't know if, I mean, depending on the candidate, it might make it better, but between the three of us, um, I'm of the mind that it would probably, I mean, it couldn't make things worse. It might make things better, but it depends
Okay,
entirely on who the candidate is.
absolutely, absolutely. But good to know that if in some strange case a change would occur, that it seems that there is an apathy towards the head of the department at the moment, that there wouldn't be there wouldn't be too much of uproar or something like that. Well, which is understanding, is since the results have been what they are, and it seems that the head is apathetic as well. So no strangeness that the workers are feeling the same way towards them. Okay, okay. I think that would be all. I don't want to take up any more of your time. Thank you very much for talking to me today. What was your name again? I'm so bad with those.
His he gave his name as Jacob Quinn.
Jacob, Mr. Quinn. Thank you for your time. Simone, do you have any questions that you would like to help me with? Do you think that would be appropriate for the survey?
Um, None that come to mind. I think you're really thorough, Conrad.
All
Yeah,
right,
I will
all
say
right.
the one thing that as a bonus that Jacob, like as you're asking that, he something that occurs to him that he points out is that he does say that, by the way, on this what if subject of getting somebody new, a little piece of advice I'll give if this survey you're doing is to find a replacement, um, that you definitely want to pick somebody with vision and with creativity, not just with experience. Or I mean, honestly, if it was a choice between experience or creativity, I would say creativity. Because he says like,
Un-
experience in my book is better saved for out in the field, whereas creativity is useful in or out of the field.
Thank you very much for that advice. I will take it to heart. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Of course.
You may hear from me again soon. Thank you. Uh, we will be seeing each other. Uh, oh, there is unofficially there will be an interesting karaoke night. Yes, that's what we call it. Tomorrow. If you want
God.
to call people over for some
Oh
it'll be fun.
God.
I think it will lift people's spirits up.
God.
Just if if you're
I
interested, that's off the books, of course.
Simone is just I'm shaking my head as I remember both the music was so bad it dealt psychological and physical damage because I fell over the back of a fucking chair in the bar. Or I
You
fell over
flipped
a
it.
table.
You flipped over a
Yeah, I
table.
flipped the table. Yeah. So it caused both physical and psychic damage. I don't know if I want to subject this guy to it.
Conrad can't wait for it. He's
Well,
probably,
just
he's
be on
probably
the other
going.
side of the colony when karaoke night starts. You should be fine.
Yeah.
Oh no, he may be a bit masochistic in that sense. He will gladly go through the pain for that. He will supply the tomatoes and whatever vegetables. Oh, he will be the architect of that thing. He will help Arturo greatly with this. but that's for tomorrow. Whilst getting out, Conrad will just say like to Simone. Simone, can I have a few minutes privately to chat?
Yeah, of course.
So when they go outside to a corner, whatever, when there's not too many people surrounding them, he will be. He'll basically go like, Simone, to be blunt, um, it seems that things here are only on the surface are still functioning, as we've both seen these past few hours and days that there are a lot of elements that are well on the verge of falling apart. And as we've seen, we have very chaotic prospects for our head of admin. It'll be. I think it's very obvious that we have to choose the lesser of two evils, idiots, or the same thing. But
Implicitly referring to Arturo as an idiot.
it was a non-Freudian slip, whatever. Yeah, just but it seems that our newly acquainted friend, Mr. Presidento or whatever,
President.
is seems to be. He seems like a person that will be able to get things done one way or another. I think it'll be good for us to stay on his good side, and I think he will be able to replace a lot of the rotting pieces of produce that have been eating away at these districts for some time. So, you haven't. I know you haven't been saying anything about this, but what do you think about the off chance of being the head of the prospecting district if our dear Arturo friend wins?
I mean, if it I'd be extremely honored. I mean, I just came here to be a, go out in the field type person, but if we need someone to step up, I'm, definitely open to doing that. As long as I, you
Which,
know,
by the way, out of character, just to confirm, you
uh,
can do that if you want.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I'd be honored to take over as the head of the prospecting, unit, but I definitely need, work with everyone who's already been here. I mean, I'm just,
Oh,
I
absolutely.
got here, how long have we been on this planet now?
You have been here
Like a week
for a
or
few
so
days.
now?
Not even a
A
full
few
week.
days, even less, yeah. But yeah, if it
Wha-
comes down to it, I'd try and step up.
That's what I like to hear. Good ambition and vigor. That's what this place needs. Some youth, creativity, and vision, and the cojones to actually get things done and not be afraid of taking charge. So
Also,
I'm
just
glad to hear that.
sorry, I cut you off. I just wanted to mention something when you're done.
No. You can you can mention it.
Okay. I was just gonna say, like, as a side note to Emily, it's like, he used youth and vigor, and it's like, here's what I'm thinking: gotta have my youthful vigor when I take over the prospecting division.
And and there's also the point in Conrad is saying that these departments need youth and vigor, while he's not really a spring chicken himself, really. So, but he sees himself as one, certainly.
Well, it's just sort of an inside joke that I was referencing to something else, but
But
yeah, Conrad will also be then like, well,
I,
yes,
I have to say, just out of character as an observation, Conrad is one of the most like smooth talking people I've ever heard, and really knows how to like twist. He knows how to twist words to get what he
he
wants.
knows what
Is
buttons to push.
my out of character exactly.
he's doing
That's
his
my
best.
observation for today. Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, I'm
but
having fun trying to play something completely opposite of what I usually do. So yeah, but
I love
in
it, man. Kudos.
thanks. But in character, then he's going to be like, uh, of course. I mean, even if you're the head of the department, it doesn't bar you from going out in the field. Again, that can be seen as a positive. Of oh, look, not only are they stepping up with giving creative ideas and managing everything, but they're finding the time and the strength to go out in the field with their very own personnel. So that wouldn't be a problem at all. And it seems, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. This is your future department anyway. But that man over there seems to be very amenable, willing to compromise, my instincts say, and uh, I don't think he would have any problem with I you being there as somebody giving some creative spark to that cemetery of a place, and especially if you take one of the first people there to be your deputy or whatever, as the second in command for the department. I mean, just my suggestion, of course. You'll know what's best, of course. But if you have that, then combination of experience and your youthly vigor and creativity, then I think that's a winning combination and might be just what's needed, just enough to reanimate the corpse of that department. What do you say?
Yeah, I
I'll take
mean,
that as a yes. Conrad, just-
I'll take you opening your mouth as a yes.
exactly.
that's the spirit. That's the spirit. Jolly good. Well, I think this has been a quite strange but productive day. If you don't have any other uh, interesting, creative, unique ideas for me, I think I will hit the sack after that creepy bastard. I have a headache that I need to sleep off. And I cannot wait for the day when I'm able to kick his ass off this place.
Don't hold back your true thoughts, man. I mean, you can
Oh, I
speak freely
trust
here.
you, Simone. I trust you. I can see it in your eye that you you are one of those. You know what I mean? A
Fuck up, dude.
person, a person. One
I
of the lesser
I'm
fucked
indeed a
up ones
person.
here. Exactly. So it'll be all okay. Bye bye then. And then
So
he kind of just
okay.
strolls off,
After that
trying
awkward,
to keep his. Yes, very awkward.
goodbye, I guess. Well, Megas, did you think of answers to those questions, or do you want to cut over to Arturo first? Megas.
The soundboard.
Okay, well, I guess then we'll cut over to Arturo. Oh, hold on,
Oh,
checking his mic.
he's checking his mic.
Okay, I just saw that. I can't hear you if you're. Oh, I just saw your mic light up, but
Okay. Now
there you go. I can hear you now.
Yes, you're back
I
with
had
an
accidentally
audible.
pressed the mute thing on my microphone.
Oh,
There's like a mute button on it. Okay. Yes, I'm ready.
okay. So while during that whole awkward scene at the fucking end of the Wildcatter department, so you have your assigned like sort of appointment to you know join Terra Nova News today as a guest during the evening broadcast. So you make your way to MK's office pretty smoothly. Once you just mentioned like, yeah, I'm Albert Zims. I'm here to speak with MK. So she is. I shared in I think it was in group notes art of what she looks like. So you see that woman there at her at her station. There's just another guy in the room who's like basically like an assistant DJ, or not DJ but like assistant guy, who so she sees you and she's like, ah, you must be Zims, right?
Yes. Yes. Hello. I'm not
And
interviewed like right now, right? Like just out of character.
yeah,
I'm
no,
just
you got a few minutes. It's not like you're like right on time. It's just like it's maybe like a couple of minutes before the broadcast starts. So like if there's anything you want to say to her like before the broadcast, then you have time to do so.
No, I'm just excited to get going.
All right. So she says, well, have a seat and we'll be starting momentarily. So if there's nothing else that you want to say to her before the broadcast starts, and we can fast forward a couple of minutes to when it actually starts. Um,
Yep.
so basically, there's and then I'll say this like everybody, like, so for the other PCs, is anybody tuning into the evening news?
Yeah, I'll say Simone would watch.
Yeah, Conrad would probably as well. He
Okay.
likes to see what's the general vibe of the news on Terra Nova.
What about Arturo and Elliot, or Richard rather?
I mean, if there's a TV in my room, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the evening news is a radio station,
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
but you would have a
Or
radio.
whatever.
So
Yeah, I would be like searching for whatever and be like,
okay,
oh, news, perfect.
yeah. So
I'm sure your phone thing probably just works, right?
yeah,
Like
I
it
mean
has
you
like
have means
streaming.
to tune in to the radio broadcast. So MK just she opens it with a cheerful "Good evening, Terra Nova." Welcome back to another yada yada yada. There's like and this evening broadcast, I am joined by a very special guest. Do you care to introduce yourself? She says as she looks over to Albert.
Thank you, MK, and thank you for this opportunity to talk with you in the colony. I'm Albert Zims, and as you and the viewers might know, I'll be taking over as the new sheriff in the next few days. Just some background on myself. I've worked in security in the company for a number of years, and I've already gotten started improving the situation here on Terra Nova. The attack a few days ago was shocking to us all, and I'm determined to protect the safety of all the colonists to the best of my abilities.
So she says, "Well, I'm sure everybody in the colony is gushing a sigh of relief at the sound of that. So, as our new sheriff to be, especially when factoring in what Many Terra Novans view as the inadequate performance of the security team to protect the colony from the Russian menace. What measures do you plan to take to mitigate or outright end this crisis?
Well, that's a good question, MK. But I don't want to get too specific because those mercenaries might be watching this program as well. But I think you noticed when I walked into this interview, I was probably more heavily armed than you might be used to for the average security officer. One of the first things I've done is increasing the readiness state of the security team and issue orders to more heavily arm our officers while they're on duty so that they can more quickly and effectively respond to any incidents. But there's much more work to do, and I know that. Terra Nova isn't a fortress, and we need to remain vigilant to all potential dangers.
So she says, "Well, that's definitely reassuring to hear." And she says, and to
So
see,
just out of
Glasgow's.
character, real quickly, for I think Richard, um, one of the things that I already did was basically I ordered all the people like when they're on duty to carry like their rifles around, not just pistols. So like I would have walked into the interview with like a rifle, like an
Yeah,
assault rifle.
that's why I was in the middle of saying, it's like, MK, like, she said, like, that's very good to see, and she's saying see because she's looking at the fucking storm rifle slung over your shoulder. Um, she
So
said,
people
like,
would have
yeah, she makes a joke because it's like, I can't remember the last time I ever had a special guest, appear on the podcast with a rifle slung over his shoulders, but uh, uh, anyway, so something I'm curious for your opinion on. I understand that, like the rest of us, you were appointed by Wayland Corps, as you said, so you may not be a government lawman by definition, but you've certainly got the mindset and skills of one. Do you believe that you could get to the root cause of the marauder threat and figure out who's really behind this? I'm sure it'd earn you the goodwill of a lot of people seeking justice for their loved ones who have been injured or killed by these marauders.
Well, first, let me say that these terrorists will be brought to justice for their crimes. The people of Terra Nova deserve peace and prosperity, and my job is to make sure that they get it. Second, I don't want to speculate too much on the motivation of these outlaws. Anything is possible, and it would be premature to discount any particular motivation. But we do know attacks of this kind are not unprecedented on frontier colony worlds. Um, and they're usually done by thieves trying to take what isn't theirs from hardworking people like we have on our colony. But it's clear, regardless of their motivation, that these people are a clear and present danger to our colony and our colonists, and that danger will be eliminated one way or the other. Third, we do know some things. We know that they must have a base somewhere on the planet, so these aren't simple traveling raiders. It's unlikely that they'll just pick up and leave. We know that they're well equipped and have no remorse about killing innocent people, and they've done that already. We know that they won't stop until we stop them, and we know that we will stop them.
So she definitely grins at that and says, like, well, that's definitely what I and the citizens of Terra Nova have been eager to hear after so long. My last question is, do you have anything else you'd like to add to this discussion or to say to your fellow colonists?
Yes, I know that the past few months have been very challenging, and there will be more challenges ahead. We've got a difficult problem in front of us, and difficult problems don't get solved quickly. But you have my word that we're working every single day on this. People came to this colony with dreams, dreams of a new life, a new opportunity, a shot at prosperity that too few back on Earth have. We've got some important elections coming up that will determine the future of the colony and determine whether those hopes become reality, or remain a fantasy. I'll be doing my part to help secure our collective future, and all I ask is that everyone watching today, or I guess out of character, I would say listening,
Right. No, I
everyone
get you.
listening today does their part too. Thank you.
And she says, well, I'm very glad to hear it. And you know, MK says, all you listening, give a round of applause for our soon-to-be Sheriff Zims here. And next, she she thanks you for your role in the show. And I mean, obviously, like I would say she would, retroactively, like, if once your part is done, like, you're free to leave, or you can listen to the rest of the broadcast. But once your interview segment is done, you have that option to stay or go. And then she kind of goes on to the rest of the evening news. So. I mean,
Right.
would you stick around after the broadcast to talk to her, or are you just going to head out once you are clear to go?
Well, I mean, I think she'd probably go to like I don't know if there's commercials or some kind of thing or how that works, but yeah, I think I would leave because I got stuff to do.
So, um, well, so she,
Wellington soda.
yeah, so
It's
well,
the
she,
only choice.
yeah, I mean, well, she's still talking on the broadcast, but she gives like a nod and a thumbs up to you as you get up to go. But she keeps going through the evening news. It's just like miscellaneous, like uh, both local updates as well as stuff that happened, in the colony. Stuff that happened in the colony as well as like updates of like stuff that's like this just in from the colonies, like beyond Terra Nova, that kind of stuff. Um, so just like miscellaneous pieces of info that isn't like story relevant. So while that is going on, well, just so I know what's going on, Albert, are you going to be going home or are you going back to the police station? What are you doing?
So I guess like how early in the evening is it?
Well, your meeting was, I think, at like, the news was like 6 o'clock. So, you've got a couple of hours. So if you wanted to go back to to the security station, or if you wanted to go home, like both would be valid choices.
Yeah, so I think I would check up on. I would definitely go back to work, and I think I would check up on the status of the radar that
Okay.
I ordered
Okay.
started work on a few days ago.
Um, well, it hasn't. I mean, I think you only queued that up like in this day or the day before.
Oh, okay.
So it wouldn't be ready, but it is definitely in development. Um,
Is there anything that is ready? Like I know we had the cameras and stuff set
Yeah,
up on the
the
beach.
cameras, yeah, the cameras are good to go, but the radar itself, like that's something that's still being like built and then getting set up, so it'll probably be ready either tomorrow or the day after.
Okay, so then I think I would just review the cameras and try to make sure like that the zone of coverage, like there's not blind spots and stuff like that.
Okay. So while you're reviewing the like when you're back at the police station, so two different things happen. So the first one is um you are actually like when you are making your way back into the station, you are actually approached by Dustin, who says, "Hey, boss, I got some news for you if you got the time to hear it."
Yes, what's up?
So he says, well, two things. The first one is that you might be pleased to hear that we had some new applicants for the security force. Two new folks came in and had their met with Jones, and from what I'm hearing, they're going to be approved for the security force.
What's your initial impression of them?
He says, "Well, I mean, I wasn't the one interviewing them, but one of them seemed pretty resolute and experienced. The other one seemed a little on the fence, but he might have potential."
Can you forward me their files? I'd like to review and see what their background is. I'm a little surprised because I didn't think that there were any further security officers assigned to us in the last colony wave,
Well,
last wave of colonists.
Well, keep in mind that recruitment is a thing. Like they were that it was mentioned before that the security team was openly recruiting and like
Oh,
offering like
okay.
better incentives for people to sign up, but people were like, it's something that has happened, but very infrequently. So like this is just the most recent
Okay.
instance of it happening. But Dustin says like, well, I don't have their files. You'd have to talk to uh, talk to Jones, but he said he was going to be sending them to you, so you should be getting them if you haven't already.
Okay.
And he
Excellent.
says,
Thank you.
the other thing I wanted to tell you about is the other day I was doing bodyguard duty, and I was part of a meeting that I thought you might find very interesting.
Ah, excellent. What do you have to report?
So he says, well, I mean, he basically, in a nutshell, he summarizes the fact that he was actually the officer who was escorting Sky Henderson when Conrad sought an audience with her. Like, he's basically spilling the
Okay.
beans on that entire interaction.
Okay. Like I'm trying to remember that meeting. It was a couple weeks ago. Like, do you just want to summarize like the high
Sure.
points of
So
it?
basically, well, and then Greg, you can fill me in on anything I missed. But basically, the whole gist of it, or at least the way Dustin frames it, is that he's saying that, like, he describes the guy, which, from the description, you recognize as Conrad, and he says, well, actually, he would probably just use Conrad's name, but he, saying that, Conrad, like, he was, seeking an audience with Sky and trying to kind of get into her good graces for, reasons unknown, is the verbiage he uses. Like, he doesn't outright say, like, he was plotting with her, but that's kind of what he's suggesting at with his choice of words. Um, he doesn't really.
He's up to something.
Yeah, he's up to something. I don't know what, but I figured, you might want to know because it isn't often that, some random nobody seeks out an audience with, one of the members of the colony command staff and not only gets that audience, but actually establishes a personal connection with her.
Did he mention anything specific that he wanted from her?
Um, this is the point where I sort of turn to
Yeah, I mean
Greg.
Conrad would.
Yeah, like,
Well, yeah, actually, quite the opposite. Conrad was during the meeting, if I remember, just mostly building the relationship, and in the sense, oh, what can I do for you? How can I help the workers? Because if the workers are happy, then well, and the industries will be happy, and everything will be working fine. He was basically
well, he's offering it.
he
Yeah,
was
so he's
yeah.
offering his help. Yeah, so I mean that would be something that Dustin would mention. I was just asking because I, as the GM, did not remember it. But thank
Right,
you for
right.
pointing that out. But yeah, but basically, like, Dustin, the way he's portraying, because he's not deliberately trying to paint Conrad as the bad guy, but he definitely views it as suspicious.
Oh yeah,
Right. Well, I mean, Conrad's
it's
like a
absolutely strange.
mid-level accountant type
Yeah,
guy, right?
yeah, he's mid-level
Basically,
management,
yeah.
so it comes off as a bit sus to Dustin that that this mid-level management guy is trying to cozy up to one of the highest ranking members of the colony staff.
Right.
So
Like what?
he's
Well, the thing you can do for me is approve my expense reports or whatever, right?
yeah, right. So um basically he's bringing that up to you because he figures it might be something you would want to be aware of.
Yes, that is helpful information. Thank you. Keep your ears open and keep your ears and your eyes open. If there's any further meetings with Mr. Conrad.
He says, I'll let you know. um but yeah, I mean, he doesn't necessarily know, like, he does he does that. Um he wasn't particularly chosen for that by Jones, because he says that you weren't at the station at the time. So Jones, I mean, I was available, so he was just like, Dustin, you
Right. He
go
was
out
just like
and,
assigned to that duty.
yeah, like, it was just sort of a coincidence, but it turned out to be in your favor
An
potentially.
interesting plot-wise coincidence to
Yeah,
thicken the situation. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
So he says, well, that's all I had for you, boss. If you're busy, I won't keep you further.
Well, I think we're all busy with these damn mercenaries or whoever they are attacking the colony.
So, well, he's like, he takes that as a cue to leave, and I mean, if he isn't questioned further, then he gets on with what he was doing.
Yeah. Good night,
Yeah.
Dustin.
So you too, sir. And yeah, if you may, and you said you were going to your office to check on, see if you got that report on the new applicants.
Yeah, I think like I would go to the sheriff's office and like talk to whoever's setting up the cameras and review that. We don't
Okay.
need to like role play through that.
Right. Yeah.
And then yeah, I would probably go
Okay.
back to
So
my room and
yeah.
review the record.
Yeah. I'll just give an answer. The cameras are like, nothing has been detected. The cameras are working. It's just hasn't been anything picked up. And as for going to your office, checking your, like, work email, you were forwarded the interviews, like, basically the notes that Sheriff Jones took on both Richard as well as the other guy, Lang or Jared, whichever. Um, so basically, and then both of them were approved. The key difference is that Richard obviously is more definitely the better of the two candidates. Lang is like he's by no means bad, but he doesn't have the same level of experience and background that Richard has, if that makes sense.
Maybe Richard, do you want to like sort of narrate what I'm reading in your file? I guess like there would probably be some stuff that's about your character that's sort of secret, and some that would be in your public
Yeah,
record.
because that is a good point because the sheriff did say that he was going to do a background check on the applicants. He just wanted to get um, like personal feedback from the applicants that wouldn't be in their background.
Yeah, just basic information. I had originally worked with the Whalen Corps security teams in live capture. That was where I was trained as far as like military service. But after I ended my stint in training there, I was just a basic, your standard pilot traversing several different sectors, piloting things for different individuals, and specifically Whaling Core that they wanted secured in quotation marks.
Okay, so were you in the military, or were you just like in the security force for Wayland?
It was a military security type because it was more of
So like
we want
private
this guy
sector.
captured. Yeah, we want this guy captured alive so we can ask him questions type deal.
Okay, well I'm just trying to understand. So like, did you work for the government, like the USMC or whatever the faction is called?
No. It was more of specific Wayland.
Okay, so you worked in Wayland security forces doing like prisoner captures and shit.
Yes, almost wet work but non-lethal.
Okay. Like, do you have details on maybe where like what colonies or planets you worked on?
Have it. It was basically wherever their headquarters was, and then I just drifted around. There's not a
Yeah.
lot of specific information.
Yeah, that
That's
doesn't
fine.
really need to be. So
Okay, and so like more recently you sort of transitioned to become a pilot.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, so I'm sort of reviewing that. I guess I'm impressed with the skills. Like we could definitely use a pilot. I mean, we do have some shuttles and stuff. And then also, well, if we capture one of these mercenaries alive, we might need to get some information out of them. And it seems like um, Mr. Richard here might have some useful skills in that area.
It does specifically notice that I was not present for the interrogations. I was just the person capturing them.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna learn now. Torture 101.
okay. So is there anything else in this particular scene?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. So then we pan over to Arturo. So what are you doing with your evening?
Honestly, don't have any plans.
Okay. So if that is the case, then we can jump to the day before the debate, which the main draw to that, as I understand it, is Lord Farquaad humiliating himself in the bar.
Yeah, that's
Big karaoke
exciting.
night.
So, well, before we go to that, so I guess we can break it down by shifts. Like, is there anything anybody else wants? Because, like I said, this is the last day before the debate. So is there anything anybody else wants to do, like, during the day at all before karaoke night?
Conrad would love to spread the word about the karaoke night
Okay.
in the most subtle manner available, but he's going to try his best as subtly as he can, but again doing his best to get as many people as he can to that place. If I have to roll, I will, but if not, I'll
Okay.
just do my charming uh, ways and just spread the word.
Okay. So
Besides my usual
I'll,
managing, accounting
I mean,
work.
I'm not going to make you do a roll for that. You can just kind of spend your time, like your morning, doing that if you want.
Yeah,
Um,
going around
so
and talking.
Arturo, are you gonna? This is kind of your final boarding call for any like campaigning you want to do, is because I had one more activity for you, if you wanted to do that. But if not, you can do whatever you want.
What do you have planned?
Well, like I said, so basically it's a case of like you're going around the colony looking for people that you could secure a vote from. Um, which, like, for example, you already did that with um Selena, because you got her the drugs by claiming you were all fucked up. And then
Yeah, all
um
fucked up.
you
Mr.
didn't
Fucked Up.
finish your task from the bartender. Um
I will once I'm in power. There's like a domino effect that I have to do to get that
well, but
rolling.
the problem is you're not going to get that vote. You're not going to get that support if you don't do it before the election. Is what I'm saying.
So is he gonna vote for the other guy?
Honestly, probably not. You make a good point. Just fucking...
Well, if Arturo would talk to Conrad about the obligations he has been making with other people, maybe Conrad can help with that because Conrad would love to help uh, Mr. Presidente with the campaigning and um, anything available to make sure that
Why?
debate
Well,
goes
the reason I was asking
well.
is 'cause I had a funny scene in mind for the third candidate he could reach out to.
Oh God. Oh, I know who this one is.
Oh God.
Do you want to do
What's
this?
happening?
I think I'm gonna win anyway.
Okay, fine. You're no fun. Um, but
If we're willing, I'd like to have a meeting between Zims and Arturo because I think Zims would like want to know, okay, like what does this guy actually want to do?
okay, so if you guys want to meet up in the morning, because it sounds like Conrad wants to meet up with. I mean, well, do you guys want to meet all three of you, or do you want to meet
Sure.
separately?
We'll schedule like a conference.
Okay, is that? I mean,
Well,
like,
why would Conrad be there?
well, Conrad wanted to hang out with him and like help him out with, you know, campaigning and
Pep
stuff.
talks. Yeah.
But
So
I
yeah,
guess,
so I don't. That's not what I'm requesting. I want to
oh,
like be like, okay, like what? Why are you running? Like, what's your plan?
okay,
Like
so,
that would
Sounds
be
like
one on
yeah,
one.
a private meeting with
okay, so
Arturo.
I guess you can have the meeting first. That makes sense. Um, so I would say that Arturo, like at some point in the morning, you get a text or call, whichever, from Zims. So what are you saying to him?
Yeah, well, actually,
Yeah, I guess the
we're all in
message.
the same place, aren't we? Like we all kind of live in the same
Well, yeah, all the
little
PCs
town.
bar Richard share a housing unit, so you could just meet in
But I
your
would still
house.
send a
But
message. I think
okay,
Oh,
I
okay.
would just knock on his door.
Just
Like yeah, but my message would be like, Mr. Presidente, I'd like to, as a prominent candidate for the colony administrator, I'd like to have a one-on-one conversation with you and learn a little bit more about what your ideas are for the colony.
all right. Well, primarily, there's a lot of rot. There's a lot of corruption. Uh, you talk to people around here, they're getting fucked, and not like in a good way. In like the way that they're getting fucked. Uh, they're not getting paid most of the time. Well, sometimes they're getting paid, but it's usually like a lot less than they're supposed to. Uh, People are literally dying. You ever hear the screams of like someone being crushed by a poorly secured big fucking thing? I don't even know. I'm not there. I'm not watching the man die. I hear him scream though. You hear him scream. There's horrible shit happening.
Eh,
All it takes is like a fucking like a bungee cable. That's like $5. We can afford that. But no, they'd literally rather people like lose a leg.
Can I tell how sincere Arturo is about this, or if he's like bullshitting me?
uh, God, I'm trying to observation, I guess. Like, I guess, like, I'll do it like opposed observation versus manipulation for Arturo's manipulation.
Oh boy.
My manipulation is much better. Could I use that to like see if he's
Um,
manipulating me?
I'm
I
good with that.
yeah, sure. So opposed manipulation then.
I'll push that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can push in this case because you are the active party. Okay, so it's uh
Oh,
Oh my god, I failed.
so yeah, he's being, I mean, if he's acting, he is a damn good actor.
Okay.
So whether, I mean, even if he doesn't necessarily seem trustworthy, he doesn't necessarily seem like he's planning anything evil. Now, whether he is planning anything evil, you don't know, but
you don't get any Sith Lord vibes.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, certainly the guy in this like military uniform and a cigar and wearing sunglasses indoors with a beret definitely does not give off any bad guy vibes,
He has a
for
bunch of
sure.
fucking fake military medals that he got off Etsy.
Yeah, like
And a
you can tell
gold
he's
and a
coming because you
gold
can hear him
gun.
jingling. The metal's jingling as he walks through the hallway. Super legit dude. Okay.
Poor fashion choices.
So what I'll say is, well, there's certainly issues in the colony, as you said. What do you think the root causes of that are?
It's the people at the top. I mean, if you ask, it always goes to management. And who manages management? You know, either they're not doing their job or they know what's going on and they're profiting from it.
What's your plan then? If let's say you were to get elected, how would you clean up the mess?
Hmm. Well, effectively, a complete now purge is probably not the right word.
Or it's like implicitly referencing
Culling.
my character in Fallout. Pretty soon you'll be pushing up daisies where the sun don't shine.
We're going to refresh the leadership because that seems to be the root cause of the issue in terms of upper management and maybe some of the middle management. Of course, deserve to be where they're at, but some of them, they're either going to get in line or we're going to flush them out, and they're going to show their stripes per se.
Yes, you can always tell how people react when push comes to shove and they have to make a choice. What
Absolutely.
side they stand on. How how would you deal with these mercenary attacks? Obviously, in my position, that's my primary concern.
Well, it's awfully strange how they manage to just kind of show up in the middle of the colony. I don't know, but you're telling me we don't have like a single radar detector, nothing like that. Even like weather equipment that would pick something up. I don't know. That's awfully suspicious. For the most part, the security are doing their jobs, but when a bunch of killers kind of just show up out of nowhere, you know. Uh, that tells me that a large part of that problem also lies with the leadership. We'll just say.
Yes. Well, I've seen that on my end as well, and you can be assured I am taking steps to improve our surveillance so that they don't sneak up on us again. I do agree the colony has been woefully unprepared to defend itself against these types of attacks, and I do not understand why more stringent measures have not been taken yet.
Mm-hmm. And you have uh, a plan for dealing with this, if allowed?
Yes, well, I've already been implementing it. Um, I guess I'm trying to think. There'd be no reason not to tell him. So I'll just say, well, you mentioned detection. I've actually already ordered, as of 2 days ago, construction of a radar system to cover the colony and make sure that the mercenaries cannot simply fly in undetected and land troops in our back door in our backyard.
Very good. And that will be under guard, of course.
What do you mean under guard?
The radar system.
Yes, of course. We're attaching it to the colony communication system.
Good. That precludes any chance of what I suspect may be sabotage.
Interesting. You think that there might be uh, they might have infiltrated the colony, or there might be people in the colony collaborating with these attackers?
I suspect that might be the case. Now, whether that's for ideological purposes or somebody's getting a paycheck, that there's no way of knowing yet, of course. But it is certainly suspicious that nobody noticed what was happening until, you know, they were already on the ground shooting people. And if that's the case, then, you know, maybe we got to do something about our education system. Uh, maybe look at what we're putting in the water. Um, if nobody bothered to look up and see, you know, fucking Spec Ops Task Force here to massacre civilians, you know, that's also a little strange.
Yes, I mean it's always possible that simple incompetence is the root cause, but as you said, we cannot rule out that there might be some active collaborators. Do you have any specific names? I could start looking into some people.
Who is that one? Now this is out of character. What was the name of that dude from engineering, like the middle management asshole dude?
Well, the guy who's in charge of the engineering, the chief engineer, is Royce Havelock.
Yeah, but
Um,
who was the guy that was like? There's a guy between him and that one lower level employee, right? There was
I don't believe there was. I don't. Well, if there was, there
Yeah.
wasn't one mentioned.
okay.
Like Havelock,
And that
he's the one who oversees the department overall, so he would be like he's the one who, was making the sort of decisions regarding their pay and the work they were putting in. So that wouldn't be up to like a mid-tier like supervisor.
okay. Well, in that case, I'll mention that I don't have any names that are, you know, particularly stand out, but there is something a little bit fishy going on with Havelock.
What makes you say that?
Well, there's money being skimmed off the top of paychecks, and you know, they're willing to do that, and that's something that's not exactly out in the open, but easier to see. Well, they're money motivated and they're willing to fuck people. So, uh, there could possibly be something deeper going on there. But
Mm. It could
that's
be.
speculation.
Yes, that's interesting. It could be just simple corruption. Uh, a boss taking in a cut of their employee's paycheck is not exactly the most unheard of thing uh, around. I've seen that happen before. But it does make me wonder if anything bigger is going on, as you said.
Yes, that was my thinking exactly.
It is rather blatant. It's how do I put it? There's a lack of subtlety to it where um, if you do it in that way, it's almost like you're not worried about being caught.
Yeah, which would. There's a lot of implications there.
Yes. Yes, I
Okay, is there
Do you have any further
yeah, I
questions?
was gonna ask if there was
none for me. Did you have any questions for me?
Uh, not at the moment. Not at the moment. But keep on a lookout for a call. If I call you, then it'll be something important.
Yes, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
all right.
Thank you for your time.
So
Shake his hand and
well, I thought you were on the phone, or are you in person?
No, yeah,
I
we would go in person.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
sorry, I didn't realize.
I mean, I sent
just
him a message saying I wanted to meet him, but then we would meet in
Okay,
person.
okay, never mind.
yeah.
Okay,
Face to
so
face is important too.
right, definitely. So you guys have that exchange. So before cutting over to somebody else, where are you guys going after that? Like, 'cause, you're it's currently the morning shift, so like I just want to know where everybody is, or at least
Hmm.
at least of Albert and Arturo, like where you guys are going, so that kind of determines how you overlap with anybody else.
I'm gonna skulk around in engineering.
Okay, before you do that, uh, Conrad, you said you were gonna go meet him, hook up with him.
Yeah, just he, for a short conversation and more in the sense of like asking is he excited for tonight, how is he feeling about the debate tomorrow, and things like that.
Oh yeah. Uh, as far as how I'm feeling, uh, have you met the other guy?
Well, you've shown me his work and gave me a brain aneurysm for it, so I do remember that, Mr. Aladente, I mean El Presidente. But yes, yes, I'm not too worried for you, of course. Um, I anyone in their right mind wouldn't choose that other mentally challenged person, but
If I were
um,
shot dead in the street right now, I'd still have a better chance of winning.
well, maybe, but I would not. I hope we don't have to bet with those kinds of odds. So, have you done any planning for tomorrow's debate, or are you going just freestyle, populist, charming route that has been quite popular 20th, early 21st century? And
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
true, true, true. I've been doing my part in letting the other civies here in the districts know that there is quite a party coming up this evening with the karaoke, that they shouldn't miss it for the world.
Oh my.
So yes, I'm going to do my best to make sure that bar is filled with the brink, and I will see and maybe talk and use my charms on the farmers to bring some of the expired and rotting produce to maybe get a bit from the recyclers before it's used. And have it handy, uh, if you agree with such an idea, of course.
Of course, of course. You know what you're
Okay.
doing.
I'm doing my part, and I I have no worries then for you. Uh, we're going to have fun tonight, and I'm eagerly going to be listening to that debate tomorrow.
Very good. I'm excited to hear your thoughts.
I will gladly share them if you need an opinion after them. But I will be on my way to spread the good word for tonight then. If you need anything else from me, just let me know. And after this, I'll be off to do my shift and come back for the evening at the bar.
Very good. Very
All
good.
right.
I will
So
see
while
you then.
that's going, Richard, what are you doing with your morning? Because obviously this is your first day on the force, so I mean, obviously you show up at the security station,
Mhm.
and what are you up to?
I just basically walk in, like greet the receptionists, and then I go to the current sheriff, and I'm just like reporting for duty, sir.
It's like, good to see you here. Good to see you, wearing the uniform and ready to do your part for Terra Nova. He says, for the most part, um, the security team, we haven't had any attacks since the shooting at the orientation the other day. Um, but I would say, grab yourself a weapon, some ammunition, and a vest, and just be on patrol. Yeah, we don't. There's not really much of a crime rate around here, but um, yeah, the mercenaries or marauders or whatever the hell they are, that's a different story. So it's important to to be out and about just in case trouble comes knocking. And the good news is, courtesy of the initiative of our vice sheriff Zims, we've got not we've got cameras that give us a bit of a head start, as well as a a radar system that's being built to give us a bit more of a long range advantage. So get yourself down to the armory and get suited up.
Then I would do so. I wouldn't say another word. I would just do
Okay,
180 and start
cool.
walking to the armory,
So,
suit up, and start a
all right.
patrol route.
So now the question is for weapons. Are you going to? I mean, obviously, Zim's made an initiative to get everybody set up with a storm rifle. You could, if you wanted, based on what you were saying about uh,
Yeah,
like
I'm gonna
non-lethal
take the shock. Yeah, the shock,
shotgun.
whatever. Yeah.
I'll add that to your sheet. Let's see, where is Wayland ES7 shotgun, which you could take 3 reloads for, so I'll add that to your sheet. And then I'll also add, you can also take a pistol if you want.
Uh, yeah, might as well. Just in case something wonky happens.
Okay, what kind of pistol do you want? Do you want an ES4 or
Just whatever, like a standard Glock would be, or a revolver. Just
so an
something
ES4?
simple. Yeah.
Get some reloads for that, and then a Kevlar riot vest. Okay, so you are all geared up. So you're out and about in the colony. Um, would you want? I mean, and this kind of goes for the other players as well. Would you be wanting to sort of conveniently bump into somebody else, be that Zims or Arturo or anybody else?
I'm just doing my job. I don't care about anybody else. I'm just doing as I'm told.
Okay. Well, I'm just telling you that not like there's not going to be like a robbery or high
Yeah,
speed
I
chase
know.
or shootout. So I'm just trying to give you the option of doing something more engaging than just walking around.
Yeah, I know. Now, if someone else wants to find me, that's perfectly on them. But
Okay.
I'm doing
Well,
my
let me ask
job.
you this. So Zims, you're heading back to the sheriff's, like the security HQ after your conversation with Arturo, or were you already there?
No, I would have gone. I wouldn't have met him like in a public area where people knew that we meet. So
So
yeah,
like you met him back at the house and then went to the security station?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm heading back to the security station now.
Okay. So you could potentially, I'll say, like on your way there, like you spot somebody that you have not seen before, who is clad in security, fatigues, has a riot vest, has a shotgun, a holstered pistol, um, and like security team, says like security team like emblem on the shoulder. Um, so I don't know if you want to make a comment or not, but like it's somebody on the security team that you have not seen before.
Are you asking? Are you asking
Yeah,
me
yeah, I'm
or?
asking you. Like if you like on your way to the security station, you see somebody on your security team that you have not been before.
I'm trying to think. Like, would I even know everyone already? Because I probably haven't met everyone.
Well,
You've
probably
probably
not
Oh
seen them
no, I would
around.
have no, but I would have reviewed his file, so I would know who he is.
Yeah. Like you would recognize him from his file, but you have not spoken to him before, or seen him in
Right.
person.
Yeah. So I guess I would say like introduce say hey Mr. Sparrow.
Yes.
I saw that you're one of our newest recruits.
Yes. And you are.
I'm Zim.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
I'm liking them
So
already.
I'm already doubting the competence of this guy.
Oh God.
You haven't heard of
I'm going to
me?
be the sheriff in a few days, if you hadn't heard.
Oh, okay. If you're. Okay. When I interviewed with the sheriff, he said his predecessor would receive my file. I didn't know that was you. I apologize.
Yes. So what's your assignment for today?
Currently, I just have patrol. There's nothing real pressing at the matter, but seems that it's quiet until something goes amiss.
Excellent. I did review your file. It looks like you do have some experience that could be very helpful for us.
Yes. And with the reports of the raiders, I figured that some extra security would be beneficial, as well as my expertise in possibly capturing one alive.
Yes, we do need intelligence, and I may tap you for that role in the future. It's also helpful your piloting background. We do have several shuttles available to us, and having another pilot is always helpful.
Yes, it is very useful to get from point A to point B, especially being unnoticed, if possible.
Yes, well, unless you have any question for me, I won't keep you from your duties. As you know, these patrols are critical to not only improve the actual security of the colony, but to improve the perception of security from the colonists.
Perfectly understandable, and I have no further questions, and a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Very well, carry on.
Gives a salute and goes about his business.
Okay. Um. So, Zims, he goes to the security station. Simone, what are you up to this morning?
Um, I think I would try and I forget what his name is, the guy who runs the D&D sessions or the
Oh God, Fat
trolls
Monkey.
and
Oh
yeah.
God.
Oh God. The local janitor playing TNT at
Yeah.
the rec center. Yeah.
Yeah. TNT, excuse me. I said D&D, but it's the same principle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go and meet with him and
Oh
see
God.
how he
So
runs his game.
so um you so basically he's there, like there's like the rec center. It's a very like fancy, very stylish room, and there are like different like games and stuff. There's like like an air hockey table and like some like arcade machines and stuff. But then you see like there are some tables in like the back corner, and there's like this hold on, where's the art that I have for him? It's like it's older like cartoon art of him, but I did make a character token for him, which whoops, where is
Nice.
a very basic overview of the kind of guy you're looking at.
I
Blonde, blue eyes, double chin, very bulky.
I met this person in real life. I don't think they were blonde, but I've met a person like this in real life.
I'm sure we all have.
Like deja
But
vu.
so he's he's TMing, and like with a bunch of people there that like some of them are on their phones. One of them fell asleep. Like only like one or two are actually um actually playing, and he looks and he's like, greetings, traveler. Care to go on a mystical adventure in the far-off kingdom of Siditheron?
Oh my god. Yeah, sure.
Um,
I wasn't expecting that type of introduction, but
well,
it's nice to
so
meet you,
he
man.
gestures like, come sit and be transported to the five realms beyond, and then like basically sort of fades to black, and then there's like a time card. It's like 4 hours later. um, and he's
Later.
and then so it's like, and then from the depths of the dungeon comes a ferocious, gross, sweaty dragon. And he's looking ripe and ready, and he's looking at you, and he thinks you look comfortable. You must slay the dragon to save the kingdom and yourself. So do a close combat roll.
Are we playing a role playing game
Yes, we are.
with the role mechanics of the role playing game we're playing?
Now that's meta.
We have to go deeper.
Well, that's
Well,
Well, that's
that's
probably what
exact.
he said.
That's what Fat Mikey says about the sword. It's like, yes, you take the sword, and right as he's about to sit on you, and the dragon is dead. You gain 20 experience points. And they basically it's like, and that is where we shall end this session. So you blow your morning playing fucking TNT. Do you have room for a story point? Because I will give you a story point.
I do actually.
All right, take a story point because you survived a fucking TNT session with Fat Mikey.
Yeah, it was what, like $10?
I think it was like 15 for paid because he does paid games.
Okay, that's
So
fine. It was around something like that, but
yeah, well, you sodomized a dragon, you saved a kingdom, and you got a story point. So
mhm.
so I'll commend you
Very
for
funny.
actually willingly going and doing that. But anyway, so yeah, so wow, that was the morning shift. Because nothing else of interest to have. Well, actually, oh wait, Arturo, you said you were going to go. Were you going to go talk to Havelock, or were you just going to?
I was gonna skulk around, and if he happens to, if I happen to see him, I'll see where he goes.
Okay, well, I'll just say right now that he basically, I mean, he spends apart from like the occasional like trip to like the water cooler to use the restroom or whatever. He doesn't really like. I'll just say right now he doesn't really do anything like
He
he
doesn't
doesn't
go to his
go.
evil volcano lab. Fuck.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't go seek a like a back alley meeting with anybody. Like he's not doing anything like overly suspicious. So, um,
Fair enough.
so, I mean, he's definitely a questionable character, but not to that like overt extreme. Um, so, um, yeah. So afternoon, the afternoon before the karaoke night. Does anybody want to do anything during this shift, or do you want to just jump to the evening?
Conrad just hopes that the talk of what's happening has reached somehow Richard, so that he would be able to be notified
Oh, you're
and
talking about like for the
uh,
karaoke night?
yeah, for the
Yeah, I
karaoke
would say
night,
that you
so
could
that
probably have just walked up. Like if you're going around talking to various people, that he could be one of those people. So we could focus on like afternoon shift is when you finally get to him. So you um so for the case of Richard, I'll just delete some of the irrelevant tokens right now. So you see, I'll drag Conrad onto the map. Um, so you see this guy approaching you.
a
Uh,
really okay guy.
yeah, that's what they all
Oh
say.
boy.
So he approaches you. So what are you saying to the guy you're approaching, Conrad?
Oh, hello there. I have not seen you around, though I haven't seen many uh, people around here. Details. Hello, I'm Conrad Bass, and who are you?
You can call me Richard. And forgive me if I don't know who you are, as I have just arrived. I normally keep to myself quite a bit.
Oh, no problem. I won't take that against you. Though I'm here with the last shipment of colonists, so I've been here a few days only as well. But um, if you're also new, then uh, I can give you some pointers from the few days I've been here. Uh, with the work here can get um, it can be either dull but then explodes with a lot of action, as you've probably heard about the
Yes,
incident
I'm in
shooting.
security already, so
Uh, I noticed with that uniform, it looks good on you, fits you well. But yeah, so we
it's
were
a bit
jumped by.
baggy.
Ah, you you find you I think you find a way to keep it nice on you there, but you'll grow into it. Don't worry about that. But yeah, the attack recently was horrible. I was there as well. I got shot by one of them. They almost took my life, but I I don't give up easily. So I fought valiantly
You know, I
and
could shoot you again.
What? Why?
oh, oh, Richard, I see you have a lovely sense of humor there.
Oh my god.
I see that you have
Are you
a
wanting
bunch of
to die? That is the question.
Does anybody want to die? I think that is a silly question, Richard. Anybody with the slightest bit of intelligence knows that we do not want to die. I mean, if we
Just
wanted to, we'd be dead
clarifying.
already.
Clarifying, because you seemed like the person that was possibly not wanting to be here at the moment.
No, I always want to be exactly where I am. I am very much fond of life.
Ah,
I
good. As well
Yes.
as I am.
Well, that is good to know. We have something in common. We are not dead. Okay. As he kind of looks side to side, like what the fuck.
I
But
prefer to bring my quarry in alive.
uh, you do? Oh, that's great. I think that people do not try hard enough to bring in their quarries, as you say, alive. Uh, when things get violent, people just kill each other too easily. As the marauders from a few days ago, they killed a bunch of colonists and me almost. But I'm glad that you like apprehending people alive. That is quite that is quite a show of character. Then I like that. I like that. Not only does that take skill, it takes some guts. So
Did anyone
I'm
ever tell you you talk too much?
no, that is the first time I've heard that. I think you might be in the minority there. I'm sorry. Do you have sensitive ears? I've got quite well acquainted with the doctors there. If you've got sensitive ear syndrome,
I
I
do
can
not
get you
have
some
sensitive
meds.
ears. It seems
Are
like
you
you are
sure?
wanting to talk to me over something, but you're not being direct. If you want to
I
ask me something, ask it. Otherwise, I would prefer to keep on what I'm doing.
Oh yes, I see you're very busy looking left and right there. Yes, sorry. Yes, with the recent situations, yes, security is a bit more uptight around here. Completely understandable. But I just wanted to say that another thing that the living usually have in common is that they like to hang out after their working hours. And I don't know if you've been yet by the bar, but I would fully recommend it. They have
Oh,
some
there's a
lovely
bar
native
here.
drink.
Wonderful.
Yes, yes, they have the
Shocking to learn that there
best
might be a bar
drinks.
in a colony.
Yeah, they have fantastic drinks they make out of these native plants. The first time I tried it, it damn nearly knocked my socks off. So
Well,
I
why
can
don't you go get us around and I'll meet you there in about an hour. I just pat him on the back and I keep walking.
God.
there will be a fun engagement there. I fully recommend
And
you
he's still
come.
talking.
I'm
You
already
do not
gone.
wanna.
I'm walking down the street and she's calling at me.
Yeah, it's fading away. You do not wanna miss it. Ah.
I told you to go to the bar and get us a couple
He,
of
he
drinks and I'll meet you there.
he's going. He's going, and he's saying that as well. Yeah.
Oh,
Just
that
still
reminds me
talking
also.
over everything
For
going
no
on. It's
particular
just
reason,
like,
I forgot to give you baton rounds.
oh yeah, just
Don't mention that when he's talking to me. Don't give ideas. But yeah, when he's going there, he's stopping by with random people he sees of
yeah.
note,
Okay.
and yeah, doing the same spiel.
So that's your guys's your mornings, and like I said, so afternoon. Is anybody doing anything, or do you want to just cut to the evening?
I'm meeting
Yeah,
up for that drink.
Oh, oh, you're actually meeting up for you weren't just sending them on a snipe hunt.
No, I was being serious.
Okay. Um. So, well, I guess an hour passes. Do you guys want to have that scene now, or do you want to cut to somebody else first?
Oh,
Uh,
Richard will try to if he actually goes there, he will find a note from Conrad. The drinks will be this evening. They're on me. There will be a performance of your lifetime. You do not want to miss it.
I just
Oh,
sigh.
geez.
I'm like, okay.
So,
Puts the note in the vest pocket, walks out.
okay. So in that case, yeah. So final boarding call. Anybody want to do anything in the afternoon shift?
yes, I would like. I don't know if you have anything set up for this, but we talked previously that this the whiskey guy, he's been making these payments to people, and we know one of them is this Reynolds person. I think I would want to go talk to them
Okay, you want to go
or
follow
try
up
to
on that
learn
lead?
what's going on. Yeah, so either like I don't know if you want if
Oh, I planned for this. Don't worry.
okay, yeah. I think the first thing I would do is like yeah, like pull up some records just so I have some basic information, and then I'd make perhaps an unannounced visit.
Okay. Are you going to take anybody else with you, or are you going by yourself?
I think I would take either Dustin or Alexandra.
Okay. Um.
Let's see, maybe Alexandra
Okay.
because I haven't done anything with her.
Okay. So Alexandra tags along. Um. And so you two. Well, I was just asking like if you wanted to like bring anybody else from like the party with you.
No.
Okay. So you guys, so the two of you make your way to the aforementioned trailer park, which I have like from your notes. Yep, up here. So like you're doing like a little hike through the jungle. There is a trail, and you the like basically you come into a clearing, like you see like like smoke from like campfires and like chimneys and stuff. Like um there's obviously presence. You smell something cooking. Um, does out of character, I don't know. Does moonshine have a scent like a still?
Very strong alcohol.
Okay, yeah. So you smell that as well. Um,
I guess is there any reason to think that that it's dangerous to go out here? Like, is there like it's trouble?
um,
Have you met the Reynolds clan?
A clan of hillbillies, of course. It's dangerous.
Well, no, I mean I don't have any context.
oh well, basically, I would say that I think if memory serves, the notes that I gave you, I'll pull that up again because that is in Foundry. You should still have access to it, but let's see, campaign handouts. Oh,
Okay, I
actually,
mean
hold on.
if we think like they might be a little bit raucous, I would also bring Dustin.
Okay,
Is I guess what
so
so I'll bring both of them with me.
I'll set you to observer so you should be able to open Alexandra's findings for Albert. Um, but basically, yeah, there was a mention that the trailer park. There was a quote. Of course, I only knew that because one of John's many sons, Mike, uploaded some explicit videos that were flagged for graphic and violent content and removed.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
um, I'll drag Dustin out as well.
Can we take
Security.
a quick break?
Oh, sure. If you want to take like I mean, like we can cut over to
Yeah,
somebody else if you want.
yeah.
So,
Just give me a minute.
sure. So um, while he's he's going to do that, is there anything anybody else wants to be doing in the afternoon shift?
Nothing in particular.
Okay. Anything from any of the others?
I'll say Simone will just be at like the apartment because she's to rest after the thing with Fat Mikey. But yeah, I won't be doing anything specific during the afternoon, but yeah, just
Okay.
Took
basically
psychological
resting for the.
damage.
Yeah, basically, I
Healing up
gotta
the
heal that
damage.
up, and then I have to mentally prepare myself for the shitstorm that's gonna be even more psychological damage and whiskey.
Oh God.
Do earplugs exist?
Yes, I was going to say that you could go out and buy earplugs for the whole gang.
That's exactly what Conrad is gonna do.
Okay, so well, are you
He
both
might.
doing that, or are you like oh, you had the same thought as me?
Conrad is gonna buy like enough pairs to hand out to the gang that he knows, and maybe some extra for ransom.
No, here's what you do, is you buy some for Arturo and then he hands them out like because he's running for office.
Oh shit.
Yep, that is a brilliant idea as well. Yes,
Like
yes.
you have like a stand of earplugs and it's like take these, you're going to need them.
I
Exactly.
love it.
He comes to save them. Yep, yep. That's exactly what Conrad would think of something like that. So yeah, he buys a bunch of them. Oh God, wait. If it's enough, then I'll actually have to detract from my money.
How much money
Well,
do you
I have
have?
enough. But I have enough.
Okay. I'm not going to actually like bill you for it as long as you only didn't. As long as it's in that case where you have like $10, I'm not going to bill you for it because it's funny.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and they're not really that
So
expensive as I understand it. So, so
We
you
can
can be
always split the
basically,
cost.
yeah. So you just go out buying earplugs, possibly getting set up with some produce, making a trip
oh
to like the
yes,
to
yes.
the farmers market,
Yeah. Get some big, blobs of mud off the street and
get a watermelon.
The produce will be more inconspicuous. If I literally have buckets of mud in the bar, Garvey will kill me. I don't wanna break those ties.
I
Oh
mean, there's
yes,
going to be a
and
mess to clean up either way, though.
yeah, Conrad will be subtly, but still, again to help with that connection. He will be warning Garvey that things may get interesting, to use those words, but
And Garvey's like,
Con-
"Ah, Lord," like just like he like loosens his shoulders, like tilts his head, as, "Hi, Lord."
but Conrad will be like, Garvey, yes, this will be uh, difficult, but it's all for the greater good. Trust me. Uh, in the long run, this will be extremely important, and any damages, be it physical or, well, more actually mental, everything will be recouped. You have my word on it. There will be a way to do it very, very soon. So just trust me, and it'll all be worth it. Okay?
And he just gives you like this like intense stare and says like, "Look, I'm already going back and letting that bastard whiskey back in. This had better be worth it for your sake."
Yes, yes, it will. Yeah, in the long term, it will. This will make sure that you will never have to have contact with him again after this night. As said, uh, you will understand when things start happening. But just remember my words. Keep patient and calm, and carry on. And I will help you with everything later. Everything will be recouped there. And keep these. He gives him a pair of earplugs.
Earplugs.
You'll know what to do with them when the time comes.
So he swipes those and puts it in his the pocket of his shirt.
So Conrad has set everything up. He has buckets of produce. He he will give Arturo most of the earplugs. He will keep like maybe a few for himself, and if he sees, I don't know, some Simone on the way or whatever. But most for Arturo to give around and save the day.
Oh man, that's a good plan. Hey,
We're
good thinking, man.
So
we're pulling out all the stops. You have the presentation. I have the planning. Uh, we can be a good team for this, and I can't wait to see the fruits of our labor. It's going to be fun.
yeah, the fruits are going to be splattered all over the bar.
Exactly.
The
That's the
vegetables too.
joke.
Not just the fruits, but the vegetables too.
Not the vegetables.
Magus, are you there? Are you back? We'll take that as a no. Well, um, you're back. Never mind. I just checked the chat. Sorry. Um, so waiting to see what is right in the chat. Mine isn't. You guys hear me? Fuck.
Oh, there
Can
we
you
go.
all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you guys.
I think it fixed itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. We
That
Discord
was-
had an aneurysm.
Yeah. It was getting drunk because it even Discord doesn't want to deal with whiskey.
from all the bullshit we were throwing at
Yeah.
it.
So anyway,
Discord's like,
so
oh my god.
but yeah, so Megas, you are good to go.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, you come out of this clearing, you're hearing like stereotypical like deep south like banjo and harmonica music in the background, and like the scene around you, there are all these like fine southern gentlemen, like you see one of them fucking peeing on the side of a house, another one like you see like a pig running for its life, and there's a guy with no pants chasing after it.
Oh,
and
God.
so you
Thinking to
go in
myself,
there.
who the hell pay these people to leave Earth?
Well, how
So,
do you think they got here?
so, Alexandra just like sort of narrows her eyes and just like contempt, and then you see a large group of them approach you, and they say, where's my notes? Damn it, do I have one of them, namely this guy says, well, yuppers, what you doing in our neck of the woods?
I'm looking for Mr. John Reynolds. I have some. I'd like to talk to him about some issues.
Well, you're talking to him, son. What you doing? What you got business with me?
Sir, I'd prefer to discuss that in private. Could we discuss in your home,
Um, well,
or
for
we could just move away? Like I don't know, like how to say it. But we could just talk here in private.
well, I will say in this case, you're going to need to do a manipulation roll, because these guys, um, well, I mean, this guy, one of his sons, straight up says like, "Well, y'all are different. We don't trust foreigners." So, and like the other guys are kind of nodding along to that, um, and like crossing their arms and stuff. And uh, in this case, it's going to -2 manipulation roll to gain their trust,
Okay.
just to kind of
I
sell
gotta
yourself.
do it.
Okay, so
Why I didn't do the -2. You gotta tell me it's.
I did twice. So okay, you still succeeded. So um, the like Reynolds, like he sees he sees the fact that you, Alexandra, and Dustin are all armed. And he says like, well, fine, but you leave your cronies and them guns outside, or we're bringing out ours.
Aren't they already carrying guns?
Yeah, now that you mention it, I will point out something of interest. They do have guns, but the thing is that they are like they're armed with a mix of guns. I mean, some of them they have like old fashioned like like Remington shotguns from like the 20th century, like wooden furniture and everything. A few of them actually have F90s, the same sort of like you know assault rifle that the Marauders were carrying. Although you can tell that these are actually damaged, so they are armed, which is something I forgot to bring up.
Right. Well, so I mean, what I'll say to him is, sir, you've got a right to be armed and defend yourself, and so do we. So I'd ask you to respect that right.
Well, so then the compromise he makes is like if you want to talk to him one on one, you can. But it's like if you're bringing two people, he's bringing two of his boys. Like it's basically a
No,
one to one.
I can. Yeah, I'm happy to talk with him one on one.
Okay, so but yeah, like you can have your gun. He's going to hold on to his rather zealously. Second Amendment abuser and all. But he does say that Alexandra and Dustin are staying outside unless he's bringing two of his sons. So basically, so he takes you into his trailer. Um, and trailer being like a prefab housing unit, and you know he like there's some little redneck kids, and like his wife, and he basically tells them all to get out or just go into a different room so he can talk with as like this fine city boy here. He's got some words for me now. Y'all need to skedaddle. So they comply. Like the women and children comply, and they fucking leave. And so it's like, all right, what you got to discuss?
I'll cut right to the chase, Mr. Reynolds. Um, as you know, the colony we've come under attack recently, and we've been investigating to determine, what's going on. And quite frankly, I'll be square with you, sir. We noticed some unusual payments to your account, and I'd like you to explain where those are coming from.
So let me just double check so I don't. Oops, that's the wrong fucking handout. So he says, well, so he's not paying anybody. Um,
Right?
but he
No, he's
says,
been receiving money.
right,
That's
yeah, he's
that's
been
what I'm
receiving
asking.
money. Um, and he says that it's been uh, like the money in question comes from some like this guy in the colony. goes by Whiskey. He been tasking us to be the saviors if they attack again. Cause I mean, we drove them off the first time they come through our trailer park. Man, they ain't come back here again. Referring to the Russians. And he says like, hey, you want to see what I'm talking about? Referring to like he's implicitly referring to like actual evidence of it. What he's saying.
So, out of character, would I have known that they had fought with the Russians? Like, or is this the first that I'm learning?
This is the first time that he's mentioned it. Because basically from the
Right.
handout, the only thing that you learned was that two things. The first one is that Whiskey was obviously making payments to this guy. You didn't learn why he was making payments, but he told you is basically so they can essentially be like Whiskey's private army is essentially the vibe you're getting. And the other bit of evidence is the fact that, as was mentioned, one of John's sons, Mike, posted some rather graphic videos. And when I say graphic, I don't mean like sexually graphic. I mean very violent videos. Which that
I
coupled
was
with the
just
fact
wondering,
that
like, if I knew. I was just wondering if I had known, like, it had been in the colony records that these guys had fought with the Russians or not, or this was like they had this fight and no one didn't tell anyone.
it would have been known because like was mentioned in the report Alexandra gave you, the colony's Facebook page, there were videos of it that were uploaded and they were
Okay.
promptly removed. So some people do know
I
about
didn't
that.
realize
It's
there
just it
was.
wasn't.
Yeah, I thought they were just generic videos. I didn't realize it was actually of a fight.
Oh. Well, the
So
thing
okay,
is that Alexandra, she didn't know either. She just knew that Mike had uploaded some very graphic videos that were removed. She didn't know what they were of. She just knew that he had done that.
okay. So I'll play along and be yes. I had heard that you had had a confrontation with the Russians and you handed them their asses. Isn't that right?
Yeah, damn right. And he pulls out his phone and he pulls up a video. He's like, see for yourself. Do you want to watch the video? Like
Yes.
it's okay. So basically, what the kind of transcript here. So a month ago, a squad of marauders made their way down to the trailer park, and they demanded that they pay tribute to them, namely in the form of handing over their still, which the Reynolds brothers obviously refused. The Russian commander calls them filthy yokels in response to their defiance, which results in Mike driving a Terra truck around the corner, yelling out the window, "Who you calling yokels, commie boys?" And the Russians, and like this is initially from John's point of view or whoever was holding the camera, because like he's basically getting Mike on camera. So the
Right.
Russians, they start nervously apologizing, and then they just fucking turn around and they make a run for it. And what you see next is a different video from somebody else's perspective inside the car, where Mike is driving after the Russians. Two of his brothers, and you don't see who, are on the back of the truck, and they're like laughing and throwing beer bottles at the fucking Russians as they're running, trying to trip them up. And you
The Russians
hear
aren't like shooting back or anything.
they are running for their lives from a giant truck that's trying to run them over.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So like they can't really. I mean, even if they were to look behind them, they probably couldn't shoot very accurately anyway. They're just their fight or flight instinct is kicking in. But you hear Mike, like you hear his wife Ab go, "Oh, Mike, you got this, honey," and then there's a kid saying, "Get him, Paul." And then the video gets graphic because they fucking eventually trip and get absolutely pulverized under the truck's massive tires, which I'm going to say is going to give you a point of stress because of just how like gruesome it is.
I mean,
Ugh.
I've seen shit like that before, so I don't know. Would that even
Well,
stress me?
you've seen people die, but have you seen people get turned into crushed tomatoes under the giant wheels of a truck?
Ah, probably a
Well,
good
my
point.
buddy
Yeah.
Eric wants.
So, um, so
I
yeah,
mean,
so
I'm just saying, like, I've seen gore and stuff before. So
well, yeah, but still, yeah, it's definitely not something pleasant to see. But anyway, yeah. So you see, so John shows you that, and he like as he's watching the video himself, he has like this like disturbingly smug expression on his face as he's watching this. Um, and yeah, then John says like, Whiskey's gonna get rid of them yuppie Russians with our help. He knows what this colony needs. He's gonna make Terra Nova great again. He gets elected, we'll drive them commie fuckers out in full force with guns and everything.
I'll tell him. Well, that's my plan too. We gotta pay him back for what they've done to our colony.
It's like, hell yeah, son. It gives you like the like yeah with pinky finger and thumb. Um,
Yeah,
he may or may not be somewhat drunk.
yeah, or high or whatever.
or both.
Right.
I why not both?
Well,
Why not?
well, looks like you handled those damn communists the way that they should be handled. Did you get any useful materials or documents off of them once you ran them off?
Oh, it's like, we didn't run him off, we run him over. Or Mike did at least. But I don't think
Yes,
we covered them
exactly.
guns. He says, referring to the damaged rifles that and I don't mean like damages in like crush, it's like they were dropped and suffered damage. They're definitely not in pristine condition like they were prior to the chase.
Well, it's good to hear that we have at least some folks on the colony that can defend themselves. I'm taking steps of my own to secure the colony, and that includes protecting you and your family out here.
So, well, he kind of nods along to that, and he says, "Is like, man, that's good to hear that you city folk are thinking about us country boys. You're all
Well,
right
you're
there,
you're
Zims."
all part of the colony. Doesn't make any difference to me whether you live in one part of the colony or the other.
All right. Um. So, do you have any other questions for him?
I guess I'll just ask him. What has Whiskey asked you to work on anything else for him?
Um. Well, he says that he was and out of sheer fucking idiocy. Um. Well, actually, before that, give me a manipulation, please. This time it's no penalty.
Okay.
Do you want to push that?
I'll push that. Yeah.
Okay. Um, again, out of sheer idiocy and or being drunk, he says like, well, I mean, in terms of having us defend the colony, he also says something about hiring some Russians for something. And he said don't tell nobody, so don't tell nobody.
Interesting. Well, I'll keep that secret. You can trust me.
Yeah, buddy. He says as he like puts his hand on your shoulder.
All right. Well, I'll I'll uh, I'll let you get on with your day. I'll stop taking up your time. Thank you.
And he's like, oh, it's nice seeing you around, good sir. And then he like uh he basically he sort of waves you out, and then he follows you out, and Alexandra basically she's just like it's like, oh, thank God you're alive.
And as we're heading out, I'll sort of like put my arm around his shoulder and say, is there anything you need? Any supplies that I could get you?
Uh, Out of character, I don't know, but he says like, well, that's a good question. I mean, we've been pretty self sufficient out here, but if I
Do
need
they need
something,
like
I'll
a
get.
new air conditioner or some kind of thing like that?
Well, the I mean, the housing modules did have air conditioners, and I mean the Reynolds brothers are mechanics, and they can keep the place running. But he says like, well, if I think of something, I'll give you a call now.
Yeah. Here's my number. Let me know if
So,
you folks out here need any help.
alrighty, he says. Um, and the after that, the Reynolds clan just ignores you. Like the guy who was saying I don't trust foreigners, like he glares at you and kind of spits in your direction, but he otherwise doesn't do anything else. Like Alexandra nearly goes for her gun when he does that, but she restrains herself just.
Yeah,
But the
I do
Reynolds,
like a hand motion for her to like chill out.
yeah. Like I said, she doesn't like take aim at him, but she does like reach for whatever she has holstered out of like sheer anger, like hot blooded you know frustration, and Dustin just chuckles a little bit, and uh, yeah, they other than that they don't say or do anything else. So
I have a question. Did we when we sort of intercepted some of the comms? I think we like heard some comms where like the Russian base was asking the attack group to report in. Did we get a name from whoever the like on the Russian side was asking them to report in, or was
no,
it just some boys?
the guy didn't. I mean, it was a guy, but he didn't identify himself by name.
Okay, okay.
So
Okay, yeah. So we'll head back to the colony then.
okay, sounds good. Um, so is there anything anybody else wants to do before the moment of truth in the evening shift? Like, I mean, in this case, notably to Albert, do you want to share your findings with anybody else in your little circle?
Um, let's see. I'm trying to think if I would let Alexandra and Dustin know. I think I would let them know. Well, we confirmed Whiskey's been paying them off, um, allegedly to protect the colony. Seems kind of suspicious to me. Apparently, they had a run-in with the mercenaries and ran over a couple of them with that big ass truck that they have.
Dustin laughs.
I think you noticed they had some higher end firearms than you might than they might than they should have. Spoils of war, I guess.
Yeah.
But it sounds like Whiskey might be further in this than we thought. Might be further involved than we thought. We'll need to do some additional investigation on him. Alexandra, I know you reported to me that he was getting some Whiskey was making some payments to some unknown person. Um, we need to investigate that further. Try to find out who that person is, how much money is being moved. Do you think you can do that for me?
And she says, I know I can do that for you, Chief.
All right, get on that. There's something fishy going on here, and we need to figure out more.
So she says, of course, boss. When do you want me to handle it? When we get back to the colony, or?
Yes. Once we get back to the colony, as you know, there is an election coming up, and if there is something um, suspicious going on with this Whiskey individual, as I say, like derisively, I say that
Yeah,
like
right.
derisively. I need to know about it before any votes are cast.
And Dustin suggests, like, well, I mean, why don't you just, you know, you could potentially spoil that to the people potentially. At there was this, that nerdy looking fucker that I told you about. I've heard that he was going around spreading word of a some karaoke night involving whiskey. Might be a good place to tell or to spill the beans.
Isn't that supposed to be tonight, or
Yeah, it's
am I
this
missing
evening.
it? I could do that, but I like to have all the information before making a move. But that's a good idea. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anything else you say or ask of your two subordinates?
No.
Okay. Um, so in that case, if I mean, and then for the rest of the group, is there anything you guys want to do before the show begins?
Nope.
Nothing springs to mind.
Richard and/or Arturo?
Nope.
No.
Okay. So we fast forward a couple hours too, and here I am rubbing my hands together. Um, you know, Garvey's bar is definitely a little more packed than usual, which Garvey appreciates. Business is booming, albeit not for the best of reasons, at least in his mind. Um, but the bar is packed. It's pretty loud. Um, and then so basically, eventually, Whiskey finally does show up. Some people, his what few supporters he has, they cheer, and when he's walking in, so he's wearing a hoodie. He's
Conrad is
wearing,
cheering as well,
oh
getting the
god.
people hyped up.
So he's doing like finger guns at people and stuff like that, and he's wearing a certain logo with a yellow M on it. Emily, you know what I'm talking about, but it's flipped upside down as a W.
Oh God.
So he's blinged out. Whether it's actual gold or not, who knows? But he swaggers in, and I will bring us over to the Aurora.
Oh.
So Selena's off to the side. Then I'll just say that you guys are at this table. So, well, are you all sitting at a table together, or are you going to some people at the bar? Like, where are you
I
guys?
know I'm at the bar.
Okay.
Conrad will then probably be there as well, cause he needs to get that promised drink and chat
Yeah.
with Richard.
Yeah. So, and the thing is that as Whiskey's entering the bar, like Garvey has like this like very very like almost cartoonishly like intense stare. Like he's staring Whiskey dead in the eyes, and he does like the two fingers "I'm watching you" gesture, and then like he's just staring at him very intensely, and like his eyes are tracking him as he steps on stage, and
Oh my
he
god.
he puts down his like he has like a boom box, and he picks up the mic that Selena usually uses, and it's like he says like like this one goes out to all the bitches in the house and all my fellow Somalia veterans. This one's for you, and he so he starts playing this song, and basically he's playing Ho Malia blues, and it's just the cheapest fucking back-to-back rhymes ever. Which let me give you an example of how crass it is. So within a few seconds, the words Dune, Poon, and a certain word that starts with C and rhymes with both, all used within a matter of seconds.
Oh my.
And he's just like rapping and slurring, and he's doing all these like rhymes that like praise up the military and are just extremely like racist towards Somalians and all this other stuff. And like it doesn't take long before well, first of all you get 1 point of stress.
Richard, hold this.
I'm gonna put
He
the
starts
earplugs
handing
in.
out buckets.
Yeah, I've definitely put in the offered earplugs, but I'm still like,
Oh yeah, I forgot about the earplugs. In that case, never mind. If you're wearing earplugs, you don't get stressed.
I'm still beating my head against the table. I'm
Yeah,
like,
but so, and
oh
like Whiskey, like
God.
he's like dancing, like he's basically like thrusting his way across the stage and like just
Hmm.
dancing so terribly, making a
I'm gonna
complete
look at
ass
the
of
most
himself. And people,
dissatisfied people and start
pe-
handing out earplugs.
oh well, no, some of the people are starting to fucking leave the bar en masse. Like people are walking out. Garvey, like he's like has this like oh shit expression on it, and he looked over to Arturo and just like gives you like a death glare because this was your idea and now it's costing him clients. Like people are starting to leave the bar. So
Convince them to stay with earplugs.
give me a
Hand
command
out,
at -2.
hand out the produce. Hand out the produce, Arturo.
Command. Oh god. Oh god. So if I do a command with -2, I'm not rolling anything.
Then you can't do it at all.
Can't try and manipulate them.
I guess there's an argument to be made for that, so sure, but it's still a -2.
Okay. I'd take a -3.
All right, well, -2, I guess. Oh, okay. Well, what are you telling them to get them to stay?
Hey, listen, well, no, actually, don't listen. I got earplugs for you, so you won't even have to. Just he'll be gone soon. Trust me. No, they're not gonna want to keep him around. He'll be gone. It's just get some earplugs in, and
Okay, I'll say that you convince half of the people, but the others
The
get make
buckets.
the other ones are still committed to leaving, but you do get half the people who are leaving to stay. Um, So, what are you? So, as for the rest of you, what are you doing? When come the tomatoes?
Conrad says, "God, do I have to start everything myself? Fucking hell!" So he throws the shit,
Okay,
and
make a
then
range
he.
range combat.
Roast
I'd
the
love
shit.
to.
Do I see him doing this?
Yes. You see a tomato go flying past Whiskey,
Okay,
or rather
because
hitting
if
Whiskey in
he
the face.
as soon as he starts to throw, I will like start like snowball chucking him like in the cartoons.
Oh god! And so the people, like the people at the bar, they see this, and some of the people start. um,
Why? Sorry, can we back up? Why do you just have like a whole tomato?
I have
That's not
been
something that
I have
normal
been
people you would carry.
He prepped for
I
this.
have been yes,
he
I have
did
been
prepare.
prepping the whole day.
Okay.
I've
Yeah,
been
he
going
did
to the
prepare.
farm and from the
You
produce
brought like
that
a bag of produce
Yeah.
specifically.
I
Okay.
have put it all over the bar, little buckets of this for people to grab
Oh my
conveniently
my god!
and throw the rotting expiration
Oh my
date
Why
god!
are these fucking vegetables in buckets in my bar?
So,
Well, it's not your
well,
bar, it's Garvey's,
yeah,
Eddie.
yeah. Well, so basically,
Conrad.
Whiskey, like, he gets hit with a tomato. He stops saying, and then like he just people start like bombarding him with tomatoes. He's panicking. And
Oh,
then
good. I thought I was gonna need to do a manipulation to
Please
convince
tell me
others to
someone is
start
recording
throwing.
us on their phone.
if somebody wants
Oh,
to be, they
definitely.
can.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll
So
record it.
he's
I'll get
shielding
a
himself with
backup
his
angle.
arms, but he's still trying to rap even despite this. And then eventually Garvey gets sick of it. He reaches into the bar, he pulls out a revolver, and he fucking shoots out the boombox.
Oh god.
And then Whiskey, like, so, well, first of all, obviously some people panic, a little bit, but like that's enough to shut up Whiskey. Like he's like, and all you did, phrases, um, and sees just how like Garvey has a gun in his hand, he's being bombarded with tomatoes, and he just drops the mic and he runs.
Get him! Who said that? Conrad's like twisting his head, like, who said that? Okay.
Would I be able, because he like ran by our table, could I like stick a leg out and try to like trip him as he runs?
Yes. Well, actually, well, no, I don't say what he does. Is he does like the most dramatic, like he jumps up on this table and he runs, like he jumps over the table
Aw.
and runs. I'm sorry, it would have been funny, but
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I mean, he still fucking bails. Um, and the bar patrons fucking, I mean, after they recover from their shock of a gun being fired, they cheer. And then like you have like Selena here in the corner who she's smirking and she's doing like the rapid like hand claps. Like she's just overly delighted. It's like, she lost her night tonight, and so the fact that she kind of got it back by Whiskey making an ass out of himself, she's a happy camper. Well, and also the fact that Whiskey's gone, that too. Um, so uh, wow, that happened.
Yeah. Conrad whispers to Richard, I told you it was going to be an unforgettable night.
Yeah. Fair.
So
I don't think you had enough tomatoes though.
I tried my best.
I emptied a whole bucket and nothing flat. I mean, come on, man.
I'll be better prepared next time. I hope there wouldn't need to be, but I'll take the criticism. Fair.
okay, so is there anything anybody else wants to say or do during this scene? Any commentary or anything anybody else wants to do?
Conrad will approach Garvey and be like, sorry for all of this, but on the long run, this will be to everybody's benefit. And as said, all of the damages, everything will be paid for. Here's upfront. And I will give Garvey, I will try to slip in to not make it like super obvious for everybody to see, but I will give him 170.
Okay, he will happily pocket that. He says, "Yeah, that'll make up for the damage."
Goddamn.
So, um, wow, that happened. I mean, everybody, the bar, like after the initial shock kind of clears up, people just are rather loudly conversing among themselves about what happened. There's a lot of laughter in the bar. I think people are in much higher spirits than they were before.
Well, I'm glad that we are having a nice night. Hey, Richard, let me introduce you to my friends over there. I don't think you have met all of them yet.
Looks over at the table, looks back at him. Now, why would I want to meet all of them? I only need to know one of them that's over there.
Oh yes, you already know Albert, our future sheriff. Um, well, let me just give you a spoiler for the future. I think you will like to know the other two at the table as well. They will be a lot more present uh, in everybody's lives. You'll
Are you
see. You'll
sure?
see. I am pretty confident.
And if you're wrong?
If I'm wrong, then I am wrong. Then I'll admit my
Then I get to shoot you
failures.
with a stun round.
Whoa, whoa.
Are you listing him as your rival by this point,
Well,
or?
well, you know what? I'm a confident man, Richard, and I like that you have the balls to to say something like that. So you know what? You know what? I'll take up that bet. I'll take that up. Why not? I'm not afraid of something like that.
You know I am pulling your leg though, right?
Oh, it's one of those funny bones again. Oh, sorry. I'm still getting used to this whole place and everybody. So okay, funny Mr. Richard. Come on. You'd like to get to know these others as well.
Okay, fine. So I will follow him.
Okay, I'll move you over there.
Well, what do you all think about tonight?
Oh, it went swimmingly.
I didn't see anybody
Oh,
swimming. Well, I mean, unless you count swimming in tomatoes. That's entirely different.
That is true. There was
that's type of
someone.
Yeah,
type of
you can
thing.
kind of look, and there's like a trail of red here, so it almost looks like he was like bleeding, but he was just dripping tomato juice.
I'm gonna take the opportunity to speak to the colonists. I'm gonna say, uh, now.
Are you going to go talk to these other people?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna say just a quick speech. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, right now, there are two candidates for administrator. That guy and me. Does anything else need to be said? You don't want that guy, you know? My God. Just gonna leave it at that. I think my point has been made for
Oh,
me.
it has. People, you definitely heads are turned. So,
Just gonna leave it at that. Keep it simple.
Maybe we should talk to the medical wing. I don't know. Do we have a psychiatric ward on Terra Nova?
there would be,
Maybe,
yeah.
maybe. Oh, well, it doesn't seem like they've been doing their job correctly. Um,
Evidently not. That
Maybe,
guy's all fucked up.
yes, maybe Whiskey needs a visit over there, so we can even see if he is um, capable of running for office. Uh, is he? Does
Do you want
he?
to have the man psych tested for being a bad singer?
No, not not for being a bad singer.
Just for being a
For
bad person.
well, yes. Uh, the things he said, my God. I mean, that's. I mean, I don't know if he was just supremely uh, confident and misjudged the situation, or is he all right? I mean, it's just an empathetic move. Though, of course, I mean, he's not our concern so much. He just tried what he tried, and it did not work. Unfortunately, I was quite looking forward to uh, getting a good poetry night, but I was not expecting that. My God.
You said karaoke, not poetry.
Well, it's the same thing.
No,
Uh,
it's not.
similar semantics. What is karaoke but poetry put to a melody? Well, we can agree to this, Richard. Whatever croaking he did over there was neither karaoke nor poetry. I
I
don't know if
agree to that, and we'll drink to it.
yes.
It was just a bunch of slurs that
Gavi,
rhymed.
Gavi, let's get another. And he's just getting more and more drinks.
So
Again,
yeah,
yeah, Conrad introduces Richard
it brings
to
over some drinks a minute later, and then
thanks. So yeah, Conrad introduces Arturo and Simone to Richard, and yeah, Albert. You guys already know each other.
Yes.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you, Richard.
Pleasure's mine. So, what exactly do the rest of you do here? I know what he does. He's kind of like my boss. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, like Conrad said, I'm Simone. Very nice to meet you. I currently work with the Wildcatter division. Uh, we are, well, we're currently on some downtime, so I'm not exactly, so I'm just trying to fill the void and help out where I can.
Mm. So you're basically doing nothing right now.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I've been,
Rude.
you know,
I said you're doing nothing right now. It's not rude. It's the truth.
oh,
Richard has
yeah,
a way with words, but I appreciate his frankness.
Who's
yeah, they're,
Frank?
his words are so blunt that he's beaten me over the head with them. That he's beaten us over the head with them. Cause the brain damage. But
well, no more so than what Lord Farquaad was doing.
oh, that's
God,
well, that that's even more severe. That's PTSD. Like could cause some PTSD symptoms if you listen to him for too long. But I digress. Yeah, currently I'm just doing basically nothing, and if you ever need any help with anything, just I have a lot of downtime, and if I can help you with
Mm.
something, just
So you're the
give me a ring.
mechanic. Right?
Somewhat. Yeah, I do have some like character. I do have some skills in heavy machinery, but I'm more
That's like a weird thing to ask someone.
yeah.
You're the mechanic.
I mean, I can be. I'm much better as pilot though. But
Fair enough.
yeah,
Similar job, but you fix your own stuff. I don't.
I mean, if it comes down to it, yeah, I'm sure I could fix something. But yeah.
Well, Our Arturo, the Mr. El Presidente, don't ask Richard, but he's kind of he's not as shy as he seems right now. He's a bit preoccupied with this whole situation. But if you've understood correctly, he's in the bidding for the admin office. Then we
So
have
he'll also be my future boss.
I mean, he'll
in a
be
way,
everybody's future boss.
exactly, Richard.
Yeah.
So, is there anything anybody else wants to bring up during the scene, whether it's Albert's findings or whatever else? If that's something you want to
Oh,
do.
I'll bring up I'll show you guys like the video I took. Yeah, if you want to further, how can we use this to further embarrass Whiskey more than he's embarrassed himself now?
That's a difficult question.
That's a loaded question.
Oh, Simone,
You gotta put it
you're so
on
quick with the
Facebook.
camera. Yeah, do we have some type of internet media, any
Yes,
type of like
Spacebook.
web
I'm not even
connectivity?
kidding.
Oh, okay.
And the colony has a Facebook page, and there's also a Wayland X.
Mm. Well, we would never be so cruel to do something uncharitable like that.
Right.
But
Of
Really?
course.
for our personal use, you can send it over to me, Simone. I'd love to review it as well on my own devices.
Yeah, of course. I'll
Right.
send you the video.
I just look at him and I go, right. And I'm a Shakespearean actor.
Well, you do have a way with words, Richard. Conrad will like immediately he will try to anonymously share it on the web.
Oh my god.
Can you do that
Yeah.
anonymously with his
Yeah,
contact skills there?
Well, you can just make another account.
Well, yeah. He will make it like use
Or it's like actual
well, some
Facebook
of
where
the
you can post
colonists.
anonymously to a group.
It just somehow leaks. Oh no! Who took that footage? Oh no!
It's like, who was the one who got a perfect headshot on Whiskey with a tomato? Came from that table. Oh, but I don't know who it was.
It wasn't in the shot. It was he would have carefully looked that
I mean, Simone was
Conrad and
filming
Richard.
him when he was getting bombarded with tomatoes, and one of them, the first one that got thrown, hit him in the face. So
That's good as long as it wasn't seen that Conrad or Richard were the ones throwing
no,
at him.
no.
Yeah. If it was outside of the
I mean,
frame,
it's
then
not like I
keep sharing
triple
that shit.
tapped him in the face or something.
Conrad whispers, "Good shot."
Okay. There's nothing else to add to the scene. I think this is a pretty natural stopping point.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Everybody gets 5 XP, which you can spend now.
Whee!
XP.
Oh, I have the reserved XP for my failed talent learning. Let's get this going again. Oh, I should have done it without the stress, but it's still a failure.
I mean, do you have a
God
story point? Do you
damn
still
it!
want to use that? Do you have a story
Oh,
point?
I can use a story
Yeah.
point to learn it. Yeah, this has been already 2 rounds. It's getting the bad luck is getting accumulated there. Yeah, I'm gonna use one since I
Okay.
have
So what
the story
talent are you
points.
getting now?
I'm getting merciless
Okay.
for some reasons in the future. But yes, that is the
Okay.
one that was reserved before,
All right.
and now this new the new 5 XP. I am going to up my manipulation to 4.
Okay. Nice. Is anybody else going to spend XP now?
Nope.
Yeah, give me a minute.
How much did we get? You said?
It's always 5 per session.
Okay. I'll hold on to what I got.
Emily, are you doing anything with yours?
Let me look at the talents. So I have, like, if anyone wants to learn any specialties, I have fast reflexes and nerves of steel, but I'm willing to teach anyone who wants them.
Noted.
Okay, that's good for next time for me to know.
Conrad, you said you had Merciless.
Yes, I do.
Okay, could you teach me that?
Uh, Albert's the Albert character.
Yes, Albert.
Well, uh, have we been talking a lot? Because right now, well, actually, yeah. Conrad is gonna um
I mean, spirits are
teach
high.
him.
You all just fucking shelled
Yeah.
whiskey with
Yeah,
tomatoes.
yeah. So
It's
he's
kind of
going
weird. It's like,
to.
tell me how, teach me how to enjoy murdering people.
Oh god.
It's
Like, it's
I
kind of
can
weird, like in character.
Right.
I can imagine in character. Conrad is talking about his good old days, about the cutthroatness of corporate life and how uh, you need to suppress those emotions to get what needs to be done and not feel sorry for the other guy that gets hurt because uh, they deserve it. And it's not hard to
Mine.
find out that a lot of people do. But of course, you always should protect the ones that are important for you. For those reasons, you can be merciless towards others. It is something that is very much needed in this cutthroat corporate world of ours.
Just to live by. Well, nobody else is spending their XP. I mean, you can do so between sessions. I mean, if it's for talent, obviously just roll and let me know what you were going for. But other than that, that was a very, very entertaining session.
Oh,
We
definitely.
finally got we finally got to that whiskey karaoke. Goddamn.
Well, I mean, all that. I mean, the encounter with the Reynolds clan, the Temples and Trolls session, the fucking karaoke night. I mean, there was a lot going on.
Oh yeah, that
God.
all of that was very
So,
unexpected.
and I'll ask for Richard or for John rather. What did you think? Was this to your liking?
I had fun.
Awesome.
I think
Glad to hear
everybody
it.
enjoyed my character.
Yeah, it's a
Oh yeah.
level of sarcasm and snark that the group didn't really have, so I can always appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just comes in and be like straight face, like this is how it is, and they're just like, okay, who are you?
A smart ass.
Yep, you're definitely putting a wrench into things in the best possible
Yeah.
way with our interdynamics.